I'm very much driven on, I want to leave behind something, a legacy. And if somebody can say, you know what, I'm better off for listening to that video or knowing this or knowing that, I think that's a life well lived. When I was 21 years old, I was diagnosed with stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And while everybody else was about to graduate from college and go off and to live life, I'm looking at my own mortality. So I've always, even though this has one of the highest cure rates, I've always known that we're all on borrowed time. We're all on borrowed time. So I'm like, yeah, through hook or crook, I want to be the best at what I do to try to get the most out of this life that we have, because it's not promised to us. So it's not to do it to make you rich or whatever. It's really because I want to have a life that was being worth lived.
All right. Reverb Experiment episode number 47.
That's what we on?
Shit. 47. First of all, we want to introduce everybody that's on the pod. Just like last episode, if y'all been rocking with us, you guys already know the algorithm, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Just please do it, rate, leave a review, all that. But I know y'all probably watch so many YouTube videos. You hear that all the time. Hit the bell and all that other stuff. We're going to just get right on into it. We want to introduce and welcome back a friend of the show, my main man. He out here in a relationship. He out here doing the big things. You know what I'm saying?
About time.
Licensed psychologist from the episode, I think it was episode 12, called The Truth.
Yeah.
My man, Jeremy Green, man. Welcome him back to the pod.
It's good to be here. Good to be back in the space. Like I say all the time, my views and opinions are my own, because, we living in a real dangerous society. Let's not talk about history to the kids. Yeah. You try to teach my kids real history. So we always got to make sure that people know this is all me, not the people I'm, paying my paychecks and whatever.
Okay.
Because the brother still got to eat.
Still got to eat. Still got to pay for the dates, all that. You know what I'm saying? So look, we gonna make that very clear.
Right.
Yes.
Our views are of our own and do not reflect our employers.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Because I got to pay my mortgage too.
I hear you. Ain't that the truth?
So
yeah,
my views are my views alone. I don't have an employer. It's me.
There you go.
So you going to hear it, accept it.
You can still get canceled.
Ooh.
I'm still getting paid.
Amen.
All right, for those that are new to the pod, me on the mic is G's_focus. We got Steph.net the queen to my left.
What's good?
And we got Photo B the king to her left.
Hey, yo.
And then obviously, like I said, Jeremy Green, which is a friend of the show, he is to Photo B's left. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. We want to, first off, it is Mother's Day weekend. By the time you guys listen to this, it will be the day after Mother's Day. Or if you're watching on YouTube, it will be 3 or 4 days after Mother's Day. But we want to make sure that we are shouting out, appreciating all the mothers that are listening, and just all mothers in general, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has a mother. So we wouldn't be here without moms, women in general, right? And we just want to give them, give them some love and give them some appreciation. We're going to clap it up, man. We're going to clap it up for them, man. Job well done. So, you guys got anything special planned for Mother's Day? I know you said you were doing a brunch for the mothers.
I'm doing a brunch.
Okay, that's dope. All right.
Yeah, me and this new lady in my life, we're going to take her mom and my mom out for, some brunch like the lights.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like brunch on Mother's Day is just like
That's the move.
mimosas.
the
Come on now.
Now you making brunch.
Yeah, I'm making brunch.
So you taking them out?
Yeah, I'm going to take
Did you
them
already
out.
make call and
Oh,
make
you
the
already
reservation?
know that.
I was about to say.
Where I'm going, I'm VIP.
Ooh.
Just saying.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you ever need to go out, into the wilderness of Folsom, I know there ain't a lot out there for us, but you go out to the Cliff House in Folsom, they do all right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they
Check it out.
know Jeremy Dwayne Green out there.
I park over there just because, that I like to shoot down over there by the river and everything like that, but I never gone there to eat.
Step in there, man.
Check it
You
out.
tell Stephen Gentry, the GM, you know me.
Ooh.
Oh,
He'll
okay.
take care of you. Or my homegirl Christina or Bev and all the cats over there. They good fam right there.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well.
Connections.
Come on
Okay.
now.
What you got planned, Photo B?
Yeah.
Oh, I just join in on the plans. I'm never first off, people don't know what they want to do. People don't know what they want. And somebody else makes the plans. I'm like, I'll be there.
He's that son. Just tell me where to be.
Yeah.
Nate, you hear this, man? Oh man. All right. Well, either way, we greatly appreciate all the mothers, and again, a lot of them do listen to the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
The majority of our audience are black women.
Amen.
And
Shout out to y'all.
Please shout out to y'all, man.
Come on.
Especially this day.
Also, I want to shout out the aunties that don't have no kids that be supporting the mamas.
Yeah.
You know
They
what?
out
That's
here.
a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That is a really
I
good
ain't talking
point.
about myself, but it's some out there.
No. You the dog mom. Shout out to all the dog moms.
No, you know what? I
Yeah,
think
fur babies.
I think that's I
feel
think that's a good point because sometimes there's the grandmother or nana or whatever you want to call them that they step in the place of a
Yeah.
mom or help out with the village. So
The
I
whole
think
village,
yeah.
The matriarchs, man.
Or the mother like figures, like you said.
Yes,
There's
for
So
Shout out to the godmothers,
yeah, all that.
the fairy godmothers.
Our generation doesn't really do godmothers like that.
I didn't have godparents, so for me it was just kind of like, okay, like
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have one, but I got asked to be a godfather, so I'm a godfather.
you
There
got
you go.
godparents.
I think I do.
See,
Like
At
because
this age,
it's
what's
crazy
the-
because it's like
Yeah.
you get asked to be one, but it's like, what does that entail?
Entail,
What
yeah.
do you do?
yeah,
You kind of just be like another figure, right? So it's not necessarily just like you're almost like looked at as an adopted parent, adopted sibling, uncle or aunt type thing, right?
Yeah.
Who's going to be there a little bit more because it's just pretty much asking somebody to join the village who helps raise this kid.
Yeah, you got it.
That's pretty much it. If I'm not here, I trust you enough to take
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, if something happens to me, God willing, hopefully not,
Right.
you'll be able to step in and,
Right.
hopefully,
Right.
help
I
raise
trust
my
you because
son, daughter.
Right. Your viewpoints, your mindset,
Yeah.
your beliefs are aligned well enough to where I trust you enough to where if something happens to me,
Yeah.
that my kids are actually
taken care of.
taken care of. Outside of my family, because I can't really rely on not necessarily I can't rely on my family.
Yeah.
But I don't want to put them into the they're still aunt, uncle.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They might not necessarily be on the same belief system, but that's still family.
Right.
But I line myself up with somebody. You can even make somebody you can make your cousin a godparent.
I've seen that. Like,
right?
where it'd be like the aunt be the godparent.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Right. No, because it's like, look, I trust you. You know what I mean? Out of everybody that I know who's in my circle, that at this point in my life, that I trust you enough that something goes on, I want you to take over.
Got it. Okay. I think that's fair. That makes sense. I just think in our generation, those things we look at more as like a title.
Bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, you know what I mean? Like even like bridesmaid and,
Yeah.
I mean, some people still take that seriously, but I know I've seen falling outs where like, oh, you ain't the godparent no more. Or you ain't the,
Yeah,
it's like, were you just doing that to just appease that person? Or did you really think about like you said, like if something happened to me, would I trust you with raising my child?
Because you like most of the time, don't ask to be the godparent. Can I be the godparent? It's not your decision.
Right,
Nah,
right.
for real, though. For
Like
real.
it's not because then it's like you put somebody in an awkward position and being like,
Yeah.
no, no, you can't be the
And then
godparent.
it's beef.
And then it's beef.
Right.
It's like it's not that, but you gotta explain to somebody. It's not that I don't fuck with you. You my peoples. I rock with you.
But
But
I ain't leave my kid with you.
There's some things about you that I would not allow. I do not want my kids to do.
Yeah.
Like, I still rock with you. We still cool where we're at. There's just certain things that I'm afraid we're going to pass down.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're going to take it. You can't not take that personally, but you still got to be looking at it like, you know what? You got to look at it in a logical sense. It's like, if I'm not that person, then I can't.
Yeah.
I might have something that I got to work on, and I just gonna look at it like that.
Yeah.
That's partly of being accountable your own things.
Yeah. Or it's just you're not the person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes ain't nothing wrong with you. You just
Yeah.
No.
Just how I feel.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No.
true.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
think people got to realize that with certain different things, like even like with who your best man is going to be or your bridesmaids, whatever, it's not always about who you known the longest or whatever. It's about who's going to be the best fit for what the job entails. Like it's also a job. Like you have things to do. Like,
like a
who's going to be the
relationship.
best fit?
Yeah.
It's
I
like a
mean, my
relationship.
longest friend might not be the best godparent. Like,
You're irresponsible. I'm not gonna pick you, even though I might know you longer. Is again,
But,
so,
it comes from the entitlement, right? Everything that everybody expects to be in somebody's life and shit is entitlement, right?
Yeah.
You could be talking to somebody for hella long and shit, and it's just like I like you, but not enough to be in a relationship with you. You know what I mean? That's true. They be like that,
But
right?
I've been here from the beginning.
Right, but
Yeah.
it be like that. But it's like you're just
I don't owe you nothing.
right at the
Thank
time.
you,
Right,
but-
I don't.
Yeah.
Right at the time, it's just that our lives didn't align properly.
Yeah.
Where you were at and where I was at, I didn't see it working.
Yeah.
Where and then like when I end up getting to, like that's why people are like I'm not ready for a relationship because I'm not really looking for anybody. You know what I mean? I might end up just out of nowhere, be like, damn, this person is actually aligning with me so well that okay, I guess I am.
Yeah.
That's usually how it happens. People
Yeah.
feel like, wow, I've been here for this long. I've been waiting for you. Ain't nobody told you to wait for me.
No.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
no, it's true. I don't want to get too off basis, but yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I
it's like,
just
you know.
you know,
I hear you.
I think that was a good conversation because I think a lot of people ask to be godparents but don't know what being a godparent is. So
Yeah.
yeah. So we started off the clip with Kevin Samuels, right? Did we talk about what we were talking about on the pod?
No.
No. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Kevin Samuels. Rest in peace. He passed away Friday.
Couple
Thursday.
days
Thursday.
ago.
Thursday, excuse
Yeah,
me.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Passed away Thursday. We're gonna talk about new music. You know, you guys already know I love my R&B. We're gonna talk about that. We are gonna also talk about Dave Chapelle and the latest incident that was involving him in his latest stand-up. And then we're also gonna talk about finances and relationships, primarily in marriages. But yeah, some very interesting comments. So again, like, subscribe, comment, all of that. So we gonna just get on. We ain't gonna beat around the bush. We ain't gonna waste y'all time. We gonna just get right on into it. Kevin Samuels passed away on Thursday. Passed away from a heart attack. Correct.
That's what it's.
That's what they're saying.
That's what the reports are. Obviously, some of this stuff. And look, just for y'all, I'm not gonna keep on saying allegedly. Okay, so we're gonna just say everything up until this point, everything we say on this pod, for the most part, is allegedly, unless it's an opinion. Okay, so allegedly, it was from a heart attack. You know, people have come up to their own conclusions about why the Red Bull, fentanyl, whatever he was doing, Viagra, right?
Poison.
All of that. Yeah, he was killed. He was a secret agent that killed him.
She was a plant.
Regardless of the reasons, he has passed away. Obviously, the passing away has caused some controversy, some uproar, in both men and women. I would say mostly it's been very triggering. A lot of the detractors of him have been, don't want to even say it, but they've celebrated and have been laughing and putting memes. A lot of the men that have followed him have been, you know, posting almost altars and all this other stuff in his presence. So I just want to just ask everybody here just for honest just reactions and feedback before we get into the deeper conversations. But when you heard the news and when you were kind of scrolling through your internet and reading it, what was your first initial reaction and how do we feel?
For me, I was at work when I saw it come across my feed, and like I said, when I was looking at it, it was at the top of my feed, and then it refreshed, and I was like, "Wait, did that just say Kevin Samuels is dead?" And I was like, "Let me go to the shade room," and it wasn't on there. I was like, "Oh, it's probably a hoax," but for some reason, I'm like, "It might be."
Yeah.
It might be real. And like, I can't lie, my anxiety went up. Like anytime I hear about somebody dying, like it's just triggering for me. Like it's sad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't a fan. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a fan, but I was just like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
If he really did die. But I just was honestly more so waiting for more information. Like I hate to post about like when people start saying RIP and ain't even got confirmation that somebody's dead. That's just
that's too much.
weird to me.
Yeah.
Facts. And actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I have the police report. Damn, look at me. Just on here. Okay, I'm gonna read it really quick and then we're
Pat
gonna
on
go to
the
photo
back.
me and Jeremy.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna read the address because I don't think that's, even though it's public information. But anyway, so regarding a person injured upon arrival, Officer Figueroa observed the fire department engine number 21 performing CPR to a black male, unresponsive on the floor of his apartment. I then met Miss Artencia
something like that.
Alcantara, who identified the male as Mr. Kevin Samuels. Mrs. Alcantara stated that she met Mr. Samuels last night, came to his apartment, and spent the night with him. Miss Alcantara also said that early morning, Mr. Samuels complained of chest pain, and she attempted to help him, but he fell on top of her and proceeded to notify 911. Miss Alcantara also said she requested that 911 operator to contact the front desk for a
defibrillator.
Yeah, there you go. To keep Mr. Samuels unresponsive, to keep Samuels responsive until Grady arrived because she is a nurse. Grady, BUS 741. Mr. Samuels was later transported to Pittman Hospital by Grady bus 741, and then I'm assuming later that day, then he passed away. So, so that brought up some controversy because obviously she's not black. So, and a lot of black women were pointing that out, and then it was obviously sounded like it was like a one night stand kind of a situation. But
Definitely
anyway,
I don't think her not being black is surprising.
it's not.
So why was it?
Because they pointed out to it that I don't know. Let's get to initial reactions. Initial reactions, then we're gonna get into the depth of it.
I'm gonna get into that. My initial reaction was, oh shit, the internet's gonna go up.
Oh yeah.
I like the internet is going to go up. There's going to be
Yeah.
so much back and forth, and I didn't think I realized how deep the back and forth was going to go.
I hear you.
Because
It got deep.
Yeah.
we seen that shit, but they got they put the address on the what's it called? Where it happened at?
Well, it's a police report, so it's public record.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what kind of people do you think pulled up into the to do a candlelight?
Oh my god,
I don't know. I don't know.
they probably did.
They definitely did. They definitely did, especially people in the area.
That's
Oh, you don't live
crazy.
too far from me? I'm gonna
That's
pull up.
crazy.
I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna take pictures. I'm gonna post it. and-
Yeah, you know how it is with the you right.
Yeah.
The internet, everybody want to
Everybody want
go
to be
viral
seen.
or be
Yeah.
seen.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Oof. Yeah. I was shocked. But then again, the passing of a black man unexpectedly is always going to be shocking to me. I know he was controversial. I know that he had a lot of opinions that, hit a lot of different types of traumas and histories and so forth too. But again, I kind of can't separate the fact that here is this black man who is seemingly educated and seemingly, trying to make something of himself, unexpectedly passing, so it makes me kind of, taken away outside of the whole controversies and people on the internet and stuff like that. Makes me think of my mortality as a black man. We always talk about, us black men, black folks in general, we have to take care of ourselves, pay attention to our health and so forth. Without knowing all the specifics of what led to his passing, that's what I took from it, because everything else is going to be noise to me. People are going to get in their feelings, which I understand. I respect people's opinions. I respect their word because that's their word. Right. I got to honor it. I got to listen to it. That's part of my profession as a psychologist, school psychologist, and so forth too. Right. But at the same time, it's so visceral, the emotion, that I think the bigger pictures and the bigger, elements underlying a passing of a black man unexpectedly, whether that's from health reasons, whether it's gun violence. A couple weeks ago, we had the downtown Sacramento situation, right? So again, for me, I'm trying not to get in the weeds in terms of that internet noise, right? Because like y'all were saying, some of it might be legit hurt, the misogynoir, like you hating black women and so forth too. Right. And I can hear those elements in his, manner of presentation, right, in some of the videos I've seen. But at the same time, some of it also is like we're talking about just trying to be seen. Right. On the internet. Right. And then Twitter fingers.
Right. So do we think, because I think that you bring up a good point. I think black men, I'm not too sure black women do that because I can't speak for black women, but do you think black men, their first initial reaction to something like that, or whether it be any kind of death like a George Floyd or things like that, do you think that when we see that it makes us, like we put ourselves in his shoes, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, it makes us, like you said, I think it reminds us of our mortality. Yeah. So I think the initial reactions from men were kind of like, it was kind of raw, like in defense of him, because it's like, wow, like this guy just died and you guys are already going at it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it seemed like you guys think that that's true, or do you think that it was honestly in defense of him?
It's probably a combination of both.
It's definitely a combination of both, because it's not like people weren't like, agreeing with what he was saying while he was still here. It's not like they start switching up and saying, he was right. No, it's both, and we don't really take kindly to people not necessarily when we're not necessarily saying somebody's celebrating and dancing around and praising his death, but when you start coming around talking about certain type of things to where it's like you're kind of glad he's gone, or it's like, well, that's what he deserves type shit. It's very similar to praising the death. And it's like, a lot of people who are saying, oh, he did this, he did that. You guys are taking it in a emotional stance of what he said instead of being like, you know what? He might be right.
Yeah.
Just because he delivered it wrong does not make him a bad person. Right. He may have been spreading certain facts. Some things may not have, but if you end up looking at all the bad shit he says instead of actually taking the real shit that he says, you're not really getting the message. You're not going to allow yourself to actually listen to somebody and admit that somebody who has said some shit before can still have a good point.
Yeah.
A broke clock is right. At least, you know what I'm saying? Like, we get that part of it. Like, we said the same thing about Derek Jackson. Like, everything he said wasn't always wrong, but majority of the time, like, the delivery, everything is just, again, I think we live in an age where people think you have to listen to everybody and you have to consume everything. Yeah. You don't have to. Like, if I see a clip and I don't like that, people be like, well, listen to the whole thing. I don't have to.
No.
You see what I'm saying? Why?
No.
Why do I have to?
No.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing.
If you're going to get involved if you're going to get involved into a clip of a conversation, if you want to start talking about it, then you might as well start listening to the whole thing, because you don't want to. You're not going to get the full story. Looking inside, it's almost like looking into somebody's house and thinking that you know exactly how it's built when you're only looking through the bathroom window.
I'm good.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes I look through the bathroom window and I don't want to know more. I just keep it pushing. You feel what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying is
we have to start doing that. Like, and that's what I tell people. Like, stop consuming things that you don't like or that don't align with what you believe. Like, I know the algorithm is powerful, but you control your timeline.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance, right? Because, it goes back to the whole doom scrolling and just consuming things that make us angry and upset to the point where we're really, to do and say the most violent of things, right? So, but at the same time, I get what you were saying too, in terms of like, if you're going to have an opinion, please have an informed opinion.
Right.
Like, just saying. Yeah. And that's going to be requiring you to listen actively to opinions and reading things and material and so forth that you may not agree with, right? Which is okay. But if you're going to get involved and try to be so visceral in terms of your passion, in terms of some of the statements, and even some of the physical actions that some people take, at least be informed about the whole story, not part of it. Because you got people, you got people willing to go and take, we're going to take over a government building off of, rumors online, right? Conspiracy theories, 30-second clips, right? Without actually going deeper and talking with various people, reading various pieces of content in order to develop an informed opinion.
Right. You'll attack somebody not knowing the whole, the full information.
Yeah.
Well, from the little bit that I seen, I'm cool. Like, especially as a black woman, like, it's triggering for black women. And when you build your platform off triggering trauma and pain points of black women, I don't want to support anything. I don't care what you're talking about. I don't want to support because black women don't need more of that. We get it enough from the world already. And I think that's the place that black women were at with not just his content, but the people that share in his sentiment, is that, like, we don't need no more tough love. We've gotten enough of it over the years. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like black women are transitioning to learning to be kinder to ourselves, learning to love ourselves without, in spite of the outside noise that we get from the world telling us we ain't shit. So we don't want to then go to other black men and other black men platforms to tell us further that why we ain't shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think we have realized that what we need is space to exist exactly how we are. That's what black women need, to be able to flourish and be able to become the best versions of ourselves. And we figured that out for ourselves, but I feel like black men have not figured that out for themselves yet. Yeah. And I feel like it's a lot of resentment and jealousy there. Because we making that move and it's like, nah. It's tough love, it's accountability, it's this, it's that. And it's like, that ain't been working. We doing something different. And black men cannot bring themselves to step out of their box. And they mad because black women is stepping out of theirs.
No, I hear you with that. Even reading some of the comments in general, you see a lot of misogyny out there in the internet. Any post that relates to the WNBA, to go on a slight tangent, On Instagram, there's numerous toxic masculine kind of comments belittling the game and the professionalism of these women who have to go through so much to get to where they are and to get paid a fraction of what the NBA players are getting, right? Oh, well, they're not as good. It doesn't matter. They're still there. They're still representing. They're still part of this global brand that you're trying to market in terms of the NBA. So like you're saying, too, to hear, you know, a black male even trying to like frame it as relationship advice, you know, kind of come sideways, throw shade, and then recruit more than likely women that he knows that he can argue and belittle and minimize and so forth too. I think, you know, seeing that on the surface, oh yeah, it's like, man, he's aggressive, he's misogynistic, blah, blah, blah. But for me, what really took it to the next level, not so much him, is the comments that men post afterwards. And it's not a conversation like we were talking about, you know, off of the pod, right? Communication is so underrated nowadays. It's all instant. It's all text. I mean, you don't even know sometimes the tone of voice of a person because you're just reading text, right? So the inability for us as a community in terms of the United States and globally and so forth to have conversations, it's just, it's maddening to me. If anything I've learned in these 2 years, it's just that people do not want to talk with each other in a kind but firm, because if you're trying to, you know, speak down to me and violate my human rights, then, you know, I can only be so kind and loving, right? So to have conversations that are kind but firm in terms of sharing of ideas, that dialogical community-based kind of perspective, I mean, we need more of that, man. And that's, if you read any literature from civil rights folks from Brazil, from Africa, Pan-Africanist movement, right, W.E.B. Du Bois and so forth too, we're talking about communication. And unfortunately, it's that us against them perspective that we are seeing in our community, especially with our black males and our black women. And that's the problem, bigger than Kevin Samuels.
So let me for those that don't know who Kevin Samuels is, he is a relationship, I guess you want to call him guru from the manosphere. That was a
image consultant.
Yeah, he started with that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna just play a clip that will kind of just give you maybe an overall balanced idea of who he is, so that way we can further the conversation. Because some people, I think we assume people know who he is, but some people may not.
That's
so,
true.
Let me just play this clip. It's 5 minutes, so you have to just bear with me. I wanted to get all the angles.
Yep.
That typically make women happy are relationships. They've calibrated. They're the social of the two, and many women have all the things that on paper are supposed to make you happy, but they don't have the relationship or the family, and that is where this is all falling apart. I mean, you got to think about it. If I was not saying something to make sense, why do I have anywhere from 20 to 30,000 people watching consistently, even with the women being so angry? Because what they're recognizing is something is missing. When I used to have my MIT, my men in training seminars, I would say, guys, the first thing I would do is take them to a city overlooking downtown. I'd say, gentlemen, life happens out there. Number 2 words, life is about people. Life is about relationships. And one thing this coronavirus pandemic showed to women in general, unfortunately, black women in particular, is when you shut the world down, you shut it down, you could not go to work. Many women had to look to the left, to the right, to the front and back, and there was nobody there. No husband, no kids, no family, no network. They're just sitting there. And that gave them a glimpse into their possible future. All things being equal, if you keep living the way you're living, this is what it's going to end up being. And it panicked people for the first time because it took an act of God to actually start this conversation. That's when my podcast started picking up, because for the first time, men and women were at home. Men have always known this.
You got a big dick?
Huh?
You have a big dick?
I mean, it's above average. I ain't no Ron Jeremy.
No. I asked you if you had a big dick. I just said it was above average.
I don't know what that is, really.
Nigga, you know if you got a big dick or not. Stop the bullshit.
I don't know what that is.
You know whether or not he got a big dick. I know I got a big dick.
You sound like you don't know what it is.
I mean,
you don't have a big dick. That's the point. You don't have a big dick. You don't have a big wallet. You're a fat dude. And you got a lot of nerve thinking you should get choosing signals at 5'10" and 300 pounds, making less than $1,000 a month at 20 years old. And women should approach you. What they get, they don't even get a big dick.
Lord.
You got.
I'm stingy with it. I do not give it up easily.
Were you married to your daughter's, your baby mama though, right?
Maybe I've never been married, no, but I just
Okay,
don't.
so
I know.
hold on. Let's talk about this though. See, I find it funny that women like yourself, baby mamas, all of a sudden want to get stingy with the puss after you done gave your womb up before a ring.
Lord.
But then you want the high value men to put a ring on it before he gets it.
So am I supposed to give it away?
You goddamn right you already did. Because here's the thing.
Lord.
See, that's what I mean. Man, you're a used vehicle wanting brand new 2021 prices. I need to really say this. I take no particular pride or pleasure in doing shows like this because I know it triggers certain black women. I know they do. I know some of them get pissed. I've heard women on YouTube saying things that they don't watch the show end to end. And I'm not going to, and that's not going to change anything because there are far more women and far women who are listening. And who are the recipients? The women who listen end to end and are saying, well, you've changed my life. You've helped me look at this way or that way. Those women are benefiting. And guarantee when those women come into contact with men doing something, they all benefit. We're better off working with each other, trying to understand one another. You know, none of us are perfect. Certainly not me. I ain't shit. I got a lot of problems. It's like anybody else. We all got issues. But just like Ice Cube, when the brother steps up to do something, support. Find ways to support. Even if you have an issue with something it's doing, can you find 4 or 5 things about it that you like before you start off with the one thing you don't like? Because you cannot keep painting black men in this ain't shit box. They don't all fit there. And brothers are starting to push back and say, no, 51% of us are single and childless and 64% in the middle class. They're here. Can you interact with them just in a peaceful, civil way? If you never get married and never have kids, can you have a higher quality of life? Can you just be happy? Can you stop walking through life with your hands up ready to fight the reflection of you, the opposite sex reflection of you? I don't walk through life looking at black women as though they're my enemy. And I would hope that for the black women who this applies, you stop walking through life assuming that black men are somebody to challenge, is somebody to overcome, to struggle against. We don't need that.
That typically make women happy are relationships. They've calibrated that.
Whew. All right. So I just wanted to just kind of put a couple clips together where, you know, saw that first clip was how the podcast or how he started kind of picking up. And I will agree with him. It did start picking up during the pandemic.
Yeah.
I think it people started consuming and were home more and could watch more. You know what I mean? So, and his clips picked up and, you know, saw him being very direct to a man, very direct to a woman. And then, you know, what he, from his perception, what he wanted as far as men and women working together. As far as the delivery or your perspective on how you received it, that's to each his own, right? Yeah. But that's from his own mouth what his goal was. Was just for that to happen. So I'm not here to speak for him. I'm just putting it together so that way you can hear it from the horse's mouth and we don't have to speak for him because I don't ever want to speak for somebody else.
No, it makes sense.
So I think, and I want to make this clear. We don't want this to be a black man versus black woman. Yeah. And we definitely don't want to put Steph in a situation where she got to speak for all black women and we got to speak for all black men. We all have our own personal experiences, right? And we all come into those personal experiences, or when you watch content or you watch anything, I don't care what nobody says, you are going to project your own feelings in some shape, form, or fashion, right? Based on your experiences.
That's right.
So I think where Kevin Samuels really struck a nerve or hit the mark for black men is a lot of us do not feel like we are valued.
Yeah.
That's just what it boils down to. And when I mean that, I mean as far as in relationships.
Yeah.
As far as what we do, what we're trying to do, a lot of times we are met with a kind of a preconception that we're going to hurt you, right? And that's not it's not false. There's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of ain't shit niggas that do shit, and then sometimes and then on the other side, there's a lot of ain't shit niggas that do the same thing that makes it harder. Excuse me. On the other side, there's also women that do that to men that then they kind of hardens their heart, where it makes the relationship harder going forward, where you are on guard.
Yeah.
Right. And I think if we can understand that, if you come from a family of addicts, you are already at a disadvantage because you are predisposed to that same addiction that may have happened, right?
Yeah.
So if you come from a family of alcoholics, you need to be more careful around alcohol because you're more predisposed to it.
Yeah.
Right? So I think generationally, we have to understand Black women have been more predisposed to trauma than any other group, right? As far as race and as far as gender, right? I think that we all agree that. So as Black men, I think we have to understand that when interacting with Black women, that is a possibility.
Yeah.
That you are dealing with somebody that has had hurt or disappointed or has been let down or has been abandoned. So you may have to deal with that. Is that right? No. Is it fair? No. But I think you dealing with that, you have to understand that. But I also think on the other side, Black women have to understand that Black men are also predisposed to similar, maybe not at the same level, but to different trauma as being a Black man as well. So it is very triggering to us when we hear, and I'm sure to Black women as well, when we hear things like, there ain't no good men out here. Niggas ain't shit. All that other stuff that comes along with it. And we also see that portrayed in the media, which is why I was saying that it's very important for positive Black images, male and women, to be portrayed, because not only do we get to hear that or see that outside of home, but we also get to now see that's partly now coming into the home. Where it's, and maybe I'm wrong, I'm starting to see more of a trend where Black men are starting to be blamed for all the problems. Same way that misogynistic Black men blame Black women for being all the problems. And I think there's issues on both sides. The problem is that there was always a voice for the Black woman to say what has already been said. Black men never really had the mouthpiece or somebody to speak up and say, look, no, we do have value. And we are trying to get our shit together. And he was holding both people accountable. He started off talking to men by telling men that you need to work, you need to have some value, you need to treat your woman right, that you ain't got, you know what I mean, that you can't expect, you can't be entitled to a woman coming up to you when you don't have nothing going for yourself. Right?
Yeah.
And I think part of this is that I'm kind of surprised at, I'm not surprised, but I'm somewhat surprised at, is all this shit is just barbershop talk.
Damn near.
We all have these conversations on an everyday basis. I just think because it's on a bigger platform and it's now on social media and it's on YouTube and it's public, that now it's kind of like shock value. But I don't want to diminish that it could be triggering. I understand that it could be triggering. Because I know, Steph, I know you could probably speak to it better than me. And I have a daughter and I have a wife. I know how disparaging that it is to hear, or to make it sound like you hear, that you don't have any value. But from my standpoint, all that I heard was, and I'm not trying to say there's not undertones of misogyny and all that. The main point that I was hearing is that what you put in is what you get out. So if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not doing what you need to do to build your value, that you can't feel entitled to whatever you feel like you should be getting. Yeah. If that makes sense. No, like I've heard women tell men, you're out your league. And I mean, there's two other men here. I have heard that myself, that you're out your league. And I accept it, because I'm like, you know what? Okay. Yeah. If that's what your standard is, and if you feel like that I don't bring value to you, then okay. But I think on the other side, I think that conversation sometimes doesn't happen often, because we're expected to, if you want to say settle. Yes? No?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people thinking.
Oh, no, I'm trying to figure. I'm just thinking personally, if I've been told that I'm out of my league, trying to look at.
Well, even if you've never said it,
but it still had that like kind of insinuate like.
Have you ever seen a woman that was so beautiful that you said, you know what, I probably I don't got my shit together. I don't have nothing to offer.
Hell yeah.
Okay, that's
So that actually kind of goes into what I had for a while ago when it comes to like relationships and expectation in the bar being set a certain way, right? Everybody thinks that everybody looks at the internet for what they think the expectations are for relationships and shit. Like we think that, you know, all these girls that we want, if they look the way they look and shit, you say they traveling and they're going all these places and shit, out the state, out of country, whatever. And you think that you got to approach them with, you gotta have a Benz, you gotta have a Beamer, you gotta have like show money, right? You gotta be able to like give her all these things and shit, right? When a lot of times, a lot of these girls don't even give a shit about that because they damn near got their own money and shit. They just want to vibe. So if you think that you got all this and shit, but you're not vibing with them, they're just there for the money and shit, but they really like the guy who they actually get to enjoy it. They'd have fun with. So the expectations that we think are high, but really the bar is not that set. It's not set that high. The bar is kind of low key.
So are you talking about casual relationship? Or you talking about marriage? Because marriage ain't no vibe.
Well,
it can be a vibe,
no, it's like at least starting off dating, right? Because you can't date nobody that you don't rock with. You know what I mean? You're not gonna look at somebody. I could see you specifically for marriage, and this is a business and shit, and I don't enjoy it, but this is good. If you do that shit, then you have other issues that you have to deal with, because that's not how you enjoy life. But I'm just saying, like, at least if you want to do things like on serious and shit, you're going to look at things like, damn, this person actually makes me feel good, for one. Instead of thinking about all the things that they can get you, because the shit that you get is still temporary most of the time.
I can't speak to that. I think that's part of the. I don't know. I'm gonna let somebody else speak. It's a very in-depth conversation. Go ahead, Steph. I'm sorry.
I ain't here for it. Like, I mean, rest in peace. I'm still not here for this nigga and nothing he had to fucking say. I'm just gonna keep it all the way 100, and I'm not about to start sugarcoating just because he dead now and try to pick out the stuff. Well, he really was trying to, bring black. I don't want to hear that shit. At the end of the day, anybody that says, if you over 35 and unmarried, you leftovers. Like, how is that supposed to be so-called trying to bring black people together? Like, if you only feel like certain black women have worth, explain that to me. Like, how was that this noble cause of trying to bring black men and black women together? If you only talking to people that make a certain amount of money, look a certain way, have a certain weight, certain age, don't have kids. Like, come on now. Like, we not finna play these games like this nigga just... was champion for the black people and trying to bring the black family together. I'm tired of hearing that.
Well, I don't think
because it's some bullshit.
Okay,
hold on. I don't think we're trying to champion him as bringing
just
black
in maybe
together.
not y'all, but in general, and all of this. Like,
yeah.
Well, he was, in this. I don't want to hear that shit.
Well, okay,
it's
so
bullshit.
So this is where I have the issue at with, and I'm not saying you. I've seen those kind of comments, right? So my impression is the undertone of that has always been women that are trying to find high value men.
And I don't even want to even on that.
Wait, no, hold on.
His definition of a high value man ain't a high value man anyway.
Right, but the women that are calling his show are looking for the man that he's describing. So the same way that we say, so look, so this is the issue.
I get what you're saying, but niggas is taking what he's saying,
yes,
and applying it
to their regular life.
Exactly.
Yes,
and I'm saying the women called into the show, exactly, but we not these women. And y'all bringing this shit to us.
Right.
All the bullshit he's spewing to them is now shit rolls downhill.
Right. And that I agree with, because I've told niggas that, like, when he's giving advice for high value men, if you making $45,000 a year, nigga, you are not a high value. He's not talking to you. Those rules don't apply to you. So he's talking to the women that are looking for the top 2% of men. So when he's being direct with them, saying after 35 you are leftovers, what he's saying is somebody that's making $100,000, $200,000, $250,000 a year, for the most part, not all of them, for the most part, are looking for somebody that they can build a legacy with. So you're already at the age of, you may have complications for childbirth, and there are younger, more attractive women out there that he has options to. The same way that if there was a more attractive woman, she is not, if she is 25, 26, and there is a choice of a 25, 26-year-old man that is her age, that is single and has no kids, she's not going to pick a 28, 30-year-old that has 2 baby mamas, 2 kids, and don't got his shit together over that, because as her legacy, she would probably be better off starting off fresh and starting a family with somebody that doesn't have kids rather than somebody that already has maybe drama or existing issues with those 2 other kids. I don't see how that's any different than what some of the messaging that he was saying, because women say it all the time.
Right, because kids don't just bring in the lives of the kids, but also the lives of the other parents. If there's other siblings involved, there's other people involved. It's not just that one person. It's not just the kid. You got a lot to add into
That's why
that.
I really don't be feeling bad for y'all, because y'all be perpetuating these same narratives about the type of woman that is desirable, but you be mad at how those type of women really are. Like, I don't feel bad for y'all. I really don't.
Expound on that.
I really don't.
Expound.
Because it's like you said, the certain weight, the this, the that, like what would be the ideal woman that a high value man would want. But for some reason, those women ain't, like, you bad because a woman only wants you for your money. But that's the type of woman that you go for. And you say that that's the type of woman a high value man is going to want and should want. I don't feel bad for y'all.
So
I don't.
But
you gonna complain, like you get the Instagram model, but complain because she's an Instagram model mentally. Like, I don't feel bad for niggas.
But
and niggas is perpetuating the same shit they complain about. Make it make sense.
But how is he perpetuating that? I guess that's where I'm not understanding that. Because if he's giving advice to the very women that are looking for that man, how is he perpetuating that?
He's perpetuating. Okay, never mind. Like, literally, if he's giving advice to the men and you're saying this is what a high value man wants, like, why are we not changing that narrative?
But I think he was saying when he was doing image consulting, those men, this is the type of woman that they say that they wanted. I don't think he was saying it. I think he was saying out of all the image consulting that he's done with those upper tier men, these are the typical women that they date.
Right. With the experience and experience that he has with other people who are looking for something, that's what they're looking for.
All right.
But see,
I mean,
think
that's why I say if it's working for y'all, keep doing it.
well, I'm not in that category.
Well, again, everybody's taking that same advice. So I'm like, what if it's working for y'all, keep doing it. I can't tell black men what to do.
But I think that's
if it's working for them,
right. I think that's a separate issue though, because I don't think he's saying that. I think that's a separate issue because you can also say the same thing on the other end. If you're saying women, same thing with women. If you're looking for a man that makes 6 figures, then you're perpetuating the same issue that you're saying that men have.
Also, let's not perpetuate that.
Hold on, because most women will say, I don't want to be controlled. I don't want to be degraded. I don't want to be talked down to. I don't want to be doing that. But then when you end up dealing with those type of men, usually since they're already established and they make way more than you, they are expecting a woman that's going to be ultra submissive, ultra, I'm going to do whatever you say because I'm being comfortable in the security that you provide. So if women don't want that, then why are they asking for that kind of a man? It's both. I think you're absolutely right. It's trash that the rich men want the Instagram model, but it's trash that most women want the man that wants to provide, but then say, I don't want to be submissive. I don't want to listen. I want my own. I want to do everything on my own, and I don't need no man. And I think that's what it pointed or put a flashlight on to me, is that nobody really knows what they want and why they want it. They're just saying you want the comfortability of being taken care of, but then you don't want to listen to the person that's taking care of you. Or you want to take care of somebody, but then you don't listen to that person or like that person. You just like them being on your arm. Then you wonder why the relationship is trash. It's trash because you wanting what? Just a trophy wife? Well, if you want a trophy wife, then that's what you got. If you want a 6-figure nigga, well, that's what you got. But the 6-figure nigga gonna feel entitled to cheat on your ass because he got options. So are we looking for character and value, or are we looking for comfortability because we live in a capitalistic society and a trophy wife builds your value and a man that takes care of you lowers your stress? I just think there's a deeper conversation to have as far as relationships. As far as his platform, from what I saw, it was just the women that were looking for them, those type of men. He was just telling them what those type of men look for. And I think a lot of women felt triggered because they thought they were entitled to that kind of man without doing the work. If you want, not everybody's going to win the race. There's one first prize, the second, third, fourth, fifth. Somebody got to be third, fourth, fifth. And unfortunately, in our society, which is white supremacist, European beauty standards, and all that other stuff, though we always see it. There's always this misconception that black men always go outside of the race. But when you look at the statistics, it's not true. But those men in those tiers do go after people outside the race because, for whatever reason, whether they're more docile, they're more submissive, I don't know. I don't know.
Sometimes it's about vicinity as well. Same with women.
The what?
Same with a lot of times when it's about vicinity when it comes to dating too.
Vicinity.
You know what I mean? Because when you start getting to certain circles, it starts being less of us in certain circles, depending on what kind of field you're in, depending on what kind of people you're around. The higher up you are, the different circle you're in, and that doesn't always pertain to seeing a lot of us, right? And then even on then, there's a lot of times it's like, damn, am I even attracted to anybody who's of my caliber in this circle of mine? It's like, damn, it's like I'm trying and shit, but I just don't see the ones that I like.
See,
and that's that's on all ends, because you got a lot of women who work in in nursing, or there's a lot of like law and shit like that. Sometimes they don't find anybody who looks good to them in there, or who they feel like actually even want to be in that kind of situation, or even if they even got time for them and shit, because people are fucking busy. So they they end up finding somebody else just because they had to open up their dating
just
pool.
ain't attracted to them.
Yeah,
Same thing.
I would say for black, I don't like that excuse for black men, because black women are the most educated demographic that's in the U.S. If you are a successful black man, you can find a successful black woman.
You can.
I think it's a lot harder for a successful black woman to find a successful black man that is attracted to her.
Also, a lot of times is the more successful, depending on where you're at with shit, you might not have that much time with each other.
Could be. I think it may be more. The perception is that the more successful a black woman is, the more independent she is, and the more that she's unwilling to cooperate with you.
Well, yeah, that too.
I think that's the perception.
Unfortunately, the more successful you become, the less attractive you become to black men.
I think that may be because
It's an ego thing.
It's not. No. It's not the ego thing. It's not because you're more successful than me and shit. It's more on, you took your success to a point that you don't feel like you need to listen to anybody else. I don't want to deal with not being able to cooperate with somebody. If you're not going to cooperate with what we got going on and shit, then what the hell's going on? Why are we here? If you continuously tell me that you don't need me, that means that you're letting me know that you're ready for me to go, because you're not wanting to cooperate. You're not willing to.
Huh? Triggered because she make more money than you. I'm telling you, men, when women make that much money, everything they do is triggering. Oh, you don't need me. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, it becomes a very fine line on what niggas consider not listening or not being cooperative because of that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, there's already that perception that you going into it, like, oh, she make this, she probably don't listen, she probably too independent, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You're going
everything
with
she does, you feel what I'm saying, becomes, oh, you ain't, oh, you don't need me.
I think you guys are both right. I think what Steph said, I think you can, the same way that we say that people bring their projections or trauma into the situation, I think there are black men that before they even get to that point are already thinking that you are overly independent, you don't need me. But I will say on the other side that there are women who they use their success as a weapon or as a hedge to, well, look, if you don't do what I like or whatever, I'm gone.
Black men need to feel, or men in general need to feel needed. And if a woman is financially independent
or respected, I would say respected.
Come on now, no, they need to. A lot of times they need to feel needed. And if they not make it, or if they're not the breadwinner, they feel unneeded. And it's a fact.
That comes down.
I mean, the family dynamic worked much better when women had to be dependent on men. And now we don't.
But I guess that would be more. I think what you're saying.
Why our grandparents stay together? Because she was financially dependent on him.
But
it's
the
not
level.
The case no more.
I think the level of it. I think because there was a more. I think 2 and 2 could be true, but I think for men we need to be respected. You're, I guess, more liable to respect somebody if you need them, right?
But I would hope that in any relationship you need to be respected, whether man, woman, whatever your gender identity is, right? So we know as a society and globally as well that we live in a very, patriarchal society. And men, not all men, as we know, we shouldn't even have to qualify that, but we do because
Unfortunately, we do.
There are going to be some people like, oh, he said all men. I'm raging. Like,
Yeah.
the idea is that in this society, when we look into history, just to take it outside of our own community,
Yeah.
we want to control women. In terms of the laws that are on the books and how you wear your hair and how you do this and how you do that. So, if you make more money, that's me losing control. If I have to ask you to do this and that, I'm losing control too. So some of that is that kind of colonized mindset that we are in, that we were raised within to believe in terms of like what equals, a healthy relationship. But I think the idea is if you enter in any relationship, and you said an excellent point off the pod about I need to know who I am. What am I about? What do I believe? What are my values? And having those conversations at the start, no matter how hard it is nowadays, in this, internet dating era, in this, I'm going to go to the clubs and, maybe take someone home for the night era and so forth. Deep down inside, and this is a generalization, regardless male, female, however you identify in terms of your gender and so forth too, as humans, we want partnership. We want to be connected, right? And that's kind of why he was saying, like, during the pandemic, people were either by themselves, solo dolo, with nothing to do, or they were forced to have to grapple with, okay, my connection is not on stable foundation. And so what you see with him, and even though his delivery is, is very,
abrasive,
and intense in some ways, right? He's coming from a lens in terms of that passionate perspective of like, look, if this is what you want, well, this is what you need to do.
Right.
But at the same time, it's the fact that as a man, once again, making a comment about how a woman needs to act and not him framing it in terms of like, this is how men like this think, then that's where the disconnect is. That's where, even though he's a brilliant conversationalist, in terms of that communication piece, that's where he was lacking in that ability to say, look, if this is the kind of partnership you want, then this is what you need to do. And also the fact that, unfortunately, as he shifted and got more popular, the focus wasn't so much on men, because that was one of his earlier clips with that dude. He was getting on him just as abrasive and negative and body shaming as any other woman in terms of the podcast he's had and so forth, too, his Instagram streams.
Right.
The fact is that it became primarily focused on women, particularly black women. And that's where, things fall apart, which is triggering already this underlying tension between black women and black men in a white patriarchal society, capitalistic society of us against them. I got to get to the top. I'm going to get mine whatever way I need to. And so, again, and it sounds so stereotypical. People need to have communication. They need to talk. I mean, and a lot of times what I see in this, perception of what is a conventional life, wife, kids or whatever, or I'm going to have this and that, people aren't having authentic conversations to be like, well, when things go sideways, what are we going to do? This is what I'm about. This is what you about. I'm really reading your moves. You're reading my moves. And then we're bonding as one. Like I was telling my dad, just yesterday, people can't stand the rain no more. New edition, right? Can you stand the rain? People cannot stand the rain no more because their foundations and their roofs are cracked.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
And so when things get bad, good times and bad times, will you be there? People ain't going to be there because there's a lot of pain. So again, I think the issue is now it's like, what do we make from this black man's life? What do we take
What's his
from
legacy?
it? What we learn, like in terms of what we learn about ourselves and so forth, because there is a lot of pain. I think it was, real sideways that people were kind of celebrating that he died like that, because I'm like, you know what? He said some real cruel stuff on those recordings, but there's a lot more crueler stuff happening in the world. That you're not reacting in the same manner, in the same level of passion. So what is that about? In terms of everything happening in our society and globally and so forth too, you got enough time to write, a manifesto about why this man should be dead.
It's easy to attack an individual versus a system.
Exactly. And that bothers me, because it's like, look, I know he was saying some cruel stuff, and I can understand that, in terms of the perception of it as a man. Obviously, that his attacks or his comments or conversation points wasn't aimed towards someone like me, right? But at the same time, it's like, is this what we're beefing about? You know, and why aren't we, you know, taking the time to, especially men, to self-reflect and be like, you know what? Why is my sister mad like this about this? Why is she telling me like this man was this, that, and the other? Maybe I need to slow down and think, okay, well, maybe because some of it is true. That some of the men in women's lives have not been worth a damn.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, but I'm more of the perspective. Like I said, I'm trying to think of the bigger picture.
Well,
What does his words and his life teach me moving forward as someone who tries to frame themselves as an ally or a co-conspirator in terms of getting women where they need to get, knowing the history behind it.
And men. Obviously, what made him popular was the women, but you know. Yeah, I think what your point is right. What's the bigger picture? What can we learn from this? Yeah. And it's not really his conversation. It's really the information.
Yeah.
What are we learning from the reactions to what's going on? Because
I know what I learned. Like for me, like I said, it made me self-reflect on my legacy and what I leave behind. Like what we say on this podcast, what we say on this internet, regardless, like if we say, oh, it's just, you know, my views or whatever, at the end of the day, it's forever. Yeah. And it made me think about how I want to be remembered. I do not want people celebrating that I'm gone.
Yeah.
Oh, amen.
I don't. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want, like, yes, I definitely want to help people, but I move from a place of kindness, especially for Black women, because I know that's what Black women need.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As a Black woman, I know like Black women at this point, regardless, like, it's all about holding people accountable and all of this. But at the end of the day, I know Black women need just the space to exist.
Yeah.
Grace.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's all. That's what we really need, because we haven't had it for so long.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been being held accountable our whole lives. Like, you know what I mean? And Black men too. You know what I mean? And I say that, I'm like, I really wish Black men would spend less time complaining about everybody else in the community and actually make themselves a priority, because they might start getting the things that they actually are complaining about.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Because that's what we did, and that's what we doing.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't get to where we are and start getting the demand, because we demanded the respect that we know we deserve. You know what I mean? We're changing the narratives about ourselves. Nobody else was going to do it for us. Black men wasn't. White man wasn't. Nobody else was going to do it for us. So I feel like that's where that disconnect is, because Black women are trending in that direction and Black men are literally staying where they at in a lot of ways, as far as like the mindsets and the narratives and the ways that they think. It's like, that's not gonna get you. Everybody else is progressing.
Yeah.
Every other community is moving forward. You know, y'all, the LGBT community, Black women, like, everybody else is moving forward, and y'all standing still, complaining about everybody else moving forward.
I felt like the other groups that she mentioned have a lot of backing behind them, though. LGBTQ has a huge backing. Black women have a
well, at the end of the day,
backing.
but the Black LGBTQ are still at the back of the line. So, I mean, you have to admit that. Like, yes, their movement gets a lot of traction because their plight also affects white people. And the same thing for Black women. But at the end of the day, what you have to realize is, at the bottom of all of these movements is us doing the work. They ride on the backs of Black LGBTQ, and white women ride on our backs. It's just the truth. We still at the back of the line, though, very much so. We at the back of the line within our community. We had that conversation. I said, at the end of the day, Black women in this fight for the Black community, we still at the back of the line. Like, our issues, like, oh, that could wait. That could wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think as Black men, we have to listen. Right?
Yeah.
But I think we have to listen to each other. So what you're saying, I know we've had plenty of those conversations as far as how to protect Black women, as far as what Black women are feeling, and we have to come to grips that's a reality.
Yeah.
That there's a like, we can't we can't keep dismissing what people are saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If somebody's saying something, we may not agree, but it's not for you to agree, it's for you to understand. And I think a lot of Black women have said, or have repeated the same sentiments that you've said, is that's how you guys feel. So as a Black man, and especially on this platform, we've tried to make it at least, I don't even say even at least, we've done our best to try to highlight those instances, and we've got called simps and the whole nine for doing that, right? And like Jeremy was saying, when it comes to communication, that's a two-way street.
Yeah.
But I think the issue that we have and just what I've learned from this situation is just the pain.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the pendulum, and I'm gonna bring that example back up. Is we can't keep playing tennis.
No.
Where women feel oppressed, they align with the feminist groups and things like that, right? And I have no issues with feminism. I have an issue with white feminism because it made it like it was the women versus the men. And white women took it to a step further where they asked black women to help out with their struggle. But then when they got equal rights, then black women got knocked back down straight to the bottom again, right? So they were used again, right? So I have an issue with that form of feminism. But should women be equal? Absolutely. But I feel like there was again, we're playing tennis.
Yeah.
Women feel oppressed, right? Even though that was really a white woman's issue for the most part, as far as on a commercial level. I'm not saying black women are not oppressed. They are. Right. But at some point, civil rights movement, all that, black men and black women, they were working together to get just our own civil rights. Right. And women feel oppressed. That's justified. Feminism. Right. Then black men. Now we feel like we're getting blamed. Kevin Samuels comes in. He says, nope. Men, you need to take your value back. Stop worrying about the woman. Worry about yourself. Get your shit together. Whatever. So there's always this like, okay, it's your fault. Nope, now it's your fault. Nope, now it's your fault. Nope, now it's your fault. And it's like, instead of like, we on the same team, y'all.
Yeah, let me self-reflect for a minute.
Like, we on the same team.
Yeah.
Now, but black men and black women have to realize within the group, there is a group of black men and there is a group of black women that are counterproductive to the movement.
Yeah.
And those are the people are the people that we need to be holding accountable and talking to them and telling like, look, this ain't productive for the group.
Yeah.
You are black men. You are degrading, disrespecting, et cetera, the black woman. And as black men, we don't accept that anymore, right? And holding ourselves accountable. And I think when we're talking about accountability off air, that's kind of what I'm talking about. And I think that we had this conversation that black men need to have black spaces amongst themselves. We don't need to include black women in our conversation all the time. Black women need to help us out. No, nigga, we need to help ourselves out.
Yeah.
And that first starts personally and then as a group, as a collective. Right? Same thing with black women. Black women, same exact thing. I think, like what Steph's saying, you guys have taken more accountability and done the work as far as moving up economically and socially. But then one would beg to argue,
and mentally, and that's why I said mentally, like
and mentally. So I think in those talks, you guys are more advanced, and I think that's kind of the point that you were saying. I just think. But within the relationship, and again, I'm never going to blame black women for this. I think this is all white supremacy, white feminism, the whole nine. When you keep painting black women and black men, that wasn't us doing that as negative or as ghetto or as not there for the children, absent fathers. And I'm looking at the statistics. I'm like, where? Where is that happening? But on TV.
Media representation.
You got white Jewish people paying young black men from the inner city to talk about killing your brother and killing your sister, and then you get platinum plaques for doing that. But then when you make a positive record, then they don't even get played on the radio. I don't have power over that, but we do have power over what we consume.
Yeah,
and we need to start taking that back and saying, look, that shit is done. We're not anything that is negative towards black women or black men. We're not consuming it. Because if people wasn't buying it, then they wouldn't be doing it. Problem is that it's been so popular now the white people buying it. And it don't even matter if we stop buying it because the white people buying it all up because it's not part of their culture. If there was a Jewish rapper that was talking about killing other Jewish boys or girls, I guarantee you they would not see the light of day. You wouldn't be able to profit off that, not one bit. If AC/DC or what's some of the other popular bands? Nickelback. Anybody sung about suicide or killing somebody or doing all that, and that was a popular record, I guarantee he wouldn't be out like that. But for some reason, we all know why, because it leads to the prison pipeline. It demonizes black women as hoes and over-sexualized, and it demonizes black men as thugs and criminals. And who profits off of that? White supremacy, capitalism, and the U.S. market. It's big business. They were going to get slaves some way or the other. And the problem I have is that we participate in it. And that's the bigger problem. So the pain that we got, is frustration with the system, but we taking it out on each other.
Oh yeah.
Because we have learned to be the oppressor ourselves.
Yeah, it's pedagogy of the oppressed, man.
And that is a sick game when you can get so good at oppression that you can remove yourself from the situation and you can leave the people that are oppressed and they start oppressing themselves. And that's where we're at.
Yeah.
That's the issue I got.
Yeah.
So
Like I said, my thing is we just need to give each other grace and the space to exist exactly how we are. And I think that's very, very hard within our culture.
it is.
Very, very hard
But
because it's an issue with everything Black women do. It's an issue with everything Black men do. It's always, supposedly supposed to be this overlying like rules of how we supposed to conduct ourselves, how we supposed to look, act, whatever. And if you don't fit in that, it's an issue.
Because they're scared the way you act will reflect on them. So if you act out of line, then we going to get all treated the same way.
And I think that's why a lot of Black men, I hear it all the time, of Black women don't hold themselves accountable. Yes, we do. We are our biggest critics. You know what I mean? And that's why the outside noise is that much more hurtful.
Yeah.
We don't need another critical voice. You know what I mean? And we trying to unlearn that.
Right.
And it's continuing to be shoved down our throat. So, and that's why I feel like we do show each other, Black women show each other so much grace, because we know, like, I know what you're going through, sis. I know how, all the white, indoctrination that you trying to unlearn. You trying to love your hair. You trying to, you know what I'm saying? I was 20 some years old when I even attempted to start to care for my hair, or actually like my hair. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yes, I know, like, you are elevating, you know what I'm saying? You changing your mindset. You trying to change your view of yourself.
Yeah.
But then you have the outside noise, predominantly your own men, telling you and reinforcing the same shit you trying to unlearn about yourself. You see what I'm saying? So that's why we give each other so much grace. That's why when I see Black women necessarily doing something that I wouldn't agree with or I wouldn't do, I let her do that, because we need that space to exist.
Yeah.
Period. Your life matters. You still have value. I don't care if you're 35 with 2 kids, 4 kids, 5 kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still have the right to respect and exist in this world. And that's what we trying to give to each other. And that's what Black men need to start giving to themselves and to each other as well. Like,
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree. I think maybe we need to start working on our delivery and working on our communication and working on the wording of it. Because like when I say I'm talking about holding each other accountable, I mean, obviously there's multiple ways of accountability, right? There's as a group, as a community. But I think for the most part, when men are talking about accountability, they're more or less talking about the relationships within the relationship. But it gets confusing and it can be triggering because you're targeting a group instead of the individual that you're maybe in relationship with. So I think the better way to do it would be like what Jeremy was saying. You need to be. But when I
have
say
these
this,
conversations with your partner,
but
who
when-
you talking to?
I know.
right? But when even I say that, it's maybe it's triggering because it comes across as me saying you need to do better, but it's not that. When I say you need to be more intentional about your dating, when I say you need to hold off on having sex too early, then people are like, oh, you trying to tell me what to do? No, what I'm telling you is before you get involved in something that you may not like or want to be there for, get to know, like you said, yourself first, and then the person you're with, because your values may not align. And before you even get to the value conversation, you already getting physical, and then it blurs things.
I know that definitely blurs.
But when but then when we say that, and when I'm saying accountable, I'm saying men and women.
Yeah.
And I'm more or less on the men because we had this conversation about just the procreation conversation. A man can have 10 babies in 1 week, and a woman can only have one baby every 9-10 months. So I tell men that you need to be in more self-control over your Johnson. You can't just be sticking your dick into everything and expecting good results to come out of that, because you are creating the very problem that you are also trying to tell black women that is their issue. No, it's more or less your issue, because let's be honest. If a black man does not stick his dick in a woman, period, there is no baby, right? That's a 0% chance. You have a 0% chance of having a baby if you don't have that, right? But if you do, if the woman does engage and she does want to have sex, then at that point she has control because it's her body. So now you got a 50% chance if you don't use no condom. correct? Because she can either choose to terminate it or choose to keep it. Do you like 0% chance or do you like 50% chance?
50% feel better.
I mean,
No, I'm saying if you don't want to have kids, do
Yeah.
you want to deal with 50 or do you want to deal with 0? Zero is 0.
yeah.
So I think, but when you say that, and really what it boils down to is this society is just taught us to be so individualistic, so self-pleasuring, and we just don't have no self-control. If I tell somebody, oh man, hey, look, why don't you just be absent for maybe 2 months? Oh no, nigga, I can't do that. I got 2 weeks, nigga. I can't even go 2 weeks. I'm like, bruh, seriously?
Nah, I hear you.
You can't go 2 weeks? That's a problem. That's a problem. And it's and if you can't do that, that shows me what other discipline or self-control do you have in your life, and that's probably why you can't get to where you want to get to. If you can't hold out for 2 weeks, nigga, can you go to the gym for 2 weeks? Can you save money? Can you see? But that's a two-way. But it's a two-way conversation.
Yeah.
It's a two-way conversation because women. That's the same conversation for the women. You are upset about the baby daddy that you got, but it's because maybe in some instances
Maybe
there
that's
is
why
tricking.
women are becoming more successful because women can hold out.
Some women can.
A lot of women can, and I mean women can hold out way longer than men.
Some women can.
For the most part, yes. At least the successful women I know.
Maybe success. Okay.
That's why I
Well,
said
see,
that.
but I
Maybe
think
that's
successful.
why.
I think successful.
You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
you focus and you're not focused
and you're more disciplined. It looked like Photo B want to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Fo.
I wait.
No, I didn't have anything.
All right, successful women I know can hold out. So I'm like, maybe that plays a part. And if you have
But is it
control over that part of your life,
But I think it's a common thing. I think if you are disciplined, you will be successful.
And discipline can be, all right, I know if I have unprotected sex, I will utilize contraception to make sure that I reduce the chances of having a child, before I'm ready. And that's both men and women. It's like you have men just going around, not all, right? But a lot of men just don't think of the repercussions of, such an intimate decision. That's a real deep, no pun intended, for some of y'all out there, decision to make.
I would say people in general.
yeah.
Just people do not think about the consequences that come with their actions.
And that's that impulsivity, like you were saying. That's that me society.
Self-pleasure.
It's that, I'm going to get mines by any means necessary. But every decision you make has consequences, good or bad. And so I think the hope is that as we start to analyze some of these shifts and these generational shifts and how we interact with each other in any sort of partnership, whether heterosexual, homosexual partnerships, and in general, we have to have these conversations around what I like, what I don't like, what I want, what I don't want, and being willing to be okay that, maybe there's sometimes I need to compromise. And I think the other thing is, like I said, generational shifts. We forget Kevin Samuels is from an older generation too, making comments on, people who are in our generation, right?
Yeah, facts.
And so some of that can also be triggering for some folks that grew up around old timers like that. I mean, I grew up around old timers like him, and both around here, going back home, to visit family in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and so forth too. Mississippi, visiting, grandfathers, people out there in the country and stuff like that. Some of these are old time thoughts
Philosophies,
and
yeah.
philosophies.
Facts.
And that's fine.
But how do we shift that?
But I don't even say don't even shift that. Because back to your point, had a conversation. If you want to have a traditional marriage, then you need to find somebody that has traditional values.
Yeah.
We try to fit squares into circles.
Yeah.
Yep.
You want to marry a modern woman, but then want her to be traditional.
Yeah.
Or you want to have a modern man and then want him to be traditional.
Yep.
No. From the beginning,
Yeah.
what do you expect from marriage? What is your role? What did you see growing up? This is what I saw. Okay, but you need to be okay at that point saying, you know what? You are fine as hell, but this ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
And I feel like speak for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what I always say. Like it was a post and I was like, bro, these traditional gender roles have people in a chokehold. And it's as simple as either you subscribe to it or you don't. And you don't have to. And the people that subscribe to it, leave the people who don't alone. And the people and vice versa. It's literally simple as that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And but I think what happens is people, like, if I value a traditional relationship, then I'm going to tell people that a traditional relationship is the only successful relationship. And that's where the issue comes in. Or if I'm a person that doesn't really believe in the tradition, I'm going to say that what you're doing is wrong. And if you want a traditional relationship, you close-minded, you this, you that, and make assumptions and judgments about people. And that's where the dialogue starts to get that friction. And it's like, just speak for what you like and what, you know, and what that is. It ain't got to apply to everybody.
Right.
Yeah,
you know,
and being
and I
understanding.
think people need that validation of my way is the right way. Like,
and being understanding as we progress through this life, we shall change. You know, that's what life is. So let's be understanding of that.
Amen.
Speaking of traditional values.
Ooh, let's go.
Ooh, I've been waiting on this segment. We're going to do the keeping it real. We're going to let Steph do the reading.
Ooh, let's see this.
And read out loud. I feel like I'm back in school. You know, we got to, when you get called on to read.
Are you nervous?
What page was we on?
They
What page
pulled the
was we on?
popsicle stick. They're like, oh, Steph, your name on here.
Talking
No,
about
bear with me. I can read. I just ain't got my glasses. All right. So,
Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, so let me preface this. I'm
right,
sorry,
I was about
I'm
to say
sorry.
I was going to give a little.
Keeping it real. So instead of doing a video clip, we're going to do a reading. It's a post. I don't think it's the woman that's in the picture. Sometimes they, you know, steal whatever. Bottom line is, it's a post that I ran across. It's about a wife asking if she is wrong for her financial decisions in the marriage. Okay.
All right, so it starts out, my husband works and I'm a stay-at-home mom. He is the most unselfish person I know. I handle all the finances and he has never said or acted like it was his money. It's our money. Anyway, he is upset with me because he found out I had a bank account he knew nothing about. I've been making money online and keeping it from him. He says that his problem is not that I've been making money online, but that I kept it from him in the event of a divorce someday. He said that women keeping a stash of hidden money in case the marriage fails is like a man keeping a side chick in case the marriage fails. And we both need to be all in or nothing. My mom raised me to have a secret stash that my husband doesn't know about. Is this wrong? Is my husband right?
Damn.
I'm sorry.
Photo B.
What you feeling, man?
Ay.
It's a twofer. So I get the issue with it being secretive. I get the issue of it, like, oh, you're planning for just in case, like, oh, you're expecting. It looks like oh, you're expecting something can go wrong, right? I can see that. However, I think having a just in case fund is good. The reason why I say it's good because it's good.
Shit.
Let me explain why.
No, I'm gonna let you.
I feel like it's good because a lot of people get stuck in relationships that turn into situationships because they ain't got it without them, without the other person. There's a lot of people who live together, especially in Cali, who relationship would have been ended.
Yep. $6
if they weren't living together.
Yeah.
If they weren't living together, if they didn't have to depend on the other, they wouldn't be in the relationship. There's a lot of that. So it's a lot of situationships. If they had their own money to where each individual can do their own shit, they're actually in the relationship a little more easier because I'm not here for the security. I'm not here for the funds. I'm here because I actually enjoy being here. I have something just in case shit goes left and you end up taking everything else. I'm good afterwards. So I don't have to worry about sitting here being in a relationship like, shit, I got to make this work because if I don't make this work, I'm going to be shit out of luck. I want to be in a relationship to like, you know what? I know that I actually want to be here. I'm actually making the conscious decision that I want to be with this person. Not that, fuck, I need to be with this person. I need to make this person happy because if anything else fails and shit, I'm fucked up. I'm going to stress about the bills. I'm going to stress about the shit I'm going to handle. How I'm going to do all that. I'm good. I don't have to worry about it. It's stuck off. It's stashed off. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about it. Everything here is cool. But just in case... It's like, why you gonna get mad at somebody for having a damn emergency exit kit for, like, you know, if something happens to the house and shit?
Oh no,
no, it's, no.
Not using that as no.
How the fuck we not? How we not? It's a just in case shit, right? You don't want it to happen. You don't want it to happen, but you're gonna be prepared if it does.
No,
man, fuck all that.
Preparing for the worst.
Yes.
Hell
yes, prepare because you have no idea what's gonna happen.
False equivalency.
You have no idea what's gonna happen.
That is no.
Anything can fucking happen.
No.
Anything gonna happen. If you don't have your fucking safety net, what the fuck you doing?
No.
Man, that's bullshit.
That is total.
That's bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Nah, that's bullshit.
So you think that having a secret fund will make the person more secure in their relationship and say, I want it. That's showing the person that they want to be there.
Not telling the person, but they in their
themselves.
Mind. What he's saying is basically that if you know that financially, you take that burden of financially being
taken care of.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? If you take that burden of if I leave this person, I won't have nothing. If you take that burden away, then you're actually there because you want to be there, not because you can't survive without them financially. Is basically what he's saying. Not that you're telling that person, it's yourself. You see what I'm saying?
Like, I know for myself that I'm fully aware that I actually want to be here.
Like, I could be okay if I leave. So if I'm here, it's because I want to be here.
Right. I'm not fighting myself in my head talking about like, shit, I'm not happy, but damn, I need to.
What I'm going to do financially.
Right. Like, what I'm going to do financially. If I'm not happy, it's like, hey, we need to have a conversation. We need to talk because I'm not happy. Because a lot of times, like, I don't have that safety net because if I bring that shit up, it's going to go left and I don't want it to go left. If it goes left, I got my shit on the left.
You could lose your financial security if, you know.
It's pretty much having an insurance.
What is alimony?
Well, it depends on where you live at.
If you're married, what is alimony?
That's what you get paid until you get married again from your previous spouse.
So that's protection, right?
The way it's been going in court now, I don't know.
In this scenario, if you are a stay-at-home mom, you are not working, and he makes all the money, that seems like a pretty clear-cut case of alimony for me.
But it doesn't necessarily need to be. Because imagine if the relationship just ends up going left just because we're just growing apart, right? I don't want it to be personal to where it's like you start taking personally because now I'm taking your money and then we're not even together anymore.
I mean,
you know
honestly,
what I mean? I got my own shit. I don't have to worry about it.
But isn't that what she was doing?
What?
So she's spending his money.
No. She said she was making money
online. She was making her own money.
Right. Listen.
And saving
She's spending his money. If you want to say his or hers, I think in marriage there is no his or hers. But he's working. She's spending his money and keeping her money secret.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you think that's conducive to a marriage?
Are things going left?
Didn't sound like it to me.
Then no. Then it's fine.
She said this is something that she was taught.
But just in case.
Right.
So, but just in case just in case you start fucking up, I'm going to spend our money and my money goes off to somewhere else. So that way I got something to cushion me in case you start fucking up.
That doesn't sound like she's going to be using, it doesn't.
That's what she's doing. The money ain't going into the pot. The money's going into her own bank account that he don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
The money that she's making on the side.
So that's telling him, or in your own mind, that I want to be here.
No, that's not what he's saying. He's not saying what it's telling him.
She's not.
He's saying it's the security that she gets.
I get it.
She's
but
not over
how
here.
are you being secure when you got 1 foot in and 1 foot out?
She don't have 1 foot out.
She does.
No, the hell she don't.
She has an emergency plan in case she leaves.
In case something goes
Why
left.
is there already in case she leaves?
Because shit happens. Because it doesn't even have to be her decision. Some shit could be happening on his end where he doesn't want to be here anymore.
Some people plan for the worst case scenario.
So do you think?
I'm not saying it's right.
I'm not gonna jump if I ain't got no safety net.
It's right, but some people do.
You're not gonna jump if there's no safety net. So when you get married, so what are you gonna put in place for your safety net?
I don't fucking know. I haven't thought that far. Let me get into a relationship first.
We want prenup.
This is what I'm saying. In order for a marriage to work, you need to be transparent, you need to be honest, and you need to be working together. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Generally, I know everybody subscribes to different ideas. That's fine. In a marriage, they're in a monogamous relationship where he's described as unselfish. He said it is our money, and he seemed like he has nothing on the side that he is hiding. So you are already coming into a relationship where you are distrusting. Your parent or your mother has already taught you that, just in case, you need to have something on the side in case he starts fucking up. You're already coming in with a presupposition or a preconception that things may go wrong, which they may. But when you say I do, and this is the other thing
that's being realistic.
No,
because shit changes. Shit happens. You have no idea what's going to happen.
Don't get married.
That's just stupid.
Do you believe in prenups?
If it's good for that person.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's good for her
personally.
Ain't that coming in? We're already planning for the end.
No, because it's not secret. That's something that
So,
you
okay,
both.
You still
that's
got one
something-
foot in and one foot
hold
out.
on. No.
We-
That's
we-
something that you both agreed on that will make you feel comfortable. I don't personally agree with prenups either because I think that's planting the seed for
That's what
just
I
in
said.
case.
So
but
that's
I'm
a
saying
just in case it
the
don't work out.
I don't have an issue with you guys having separate bank accounts. The issue I have is with the secrecy and you hiding and not being transparency or honest with the partner that you are in a marriage with.
So is
I
it
agree
so
with that.
okay? So yeah, we already agreed that the secretive part is the issue. We're not talking about her having the money being the issue. What about the money?
The money is fine.
The money
I
is
feel like
our money.
The
I
money
don't
that she makes.
I don't like when women do that either. If it's the man making the money, it's our money. But if you making the money, then it's your money. That's not marriage. You share everything. Your body, your thoughts, your opinions, your time, your house, your kids. It is a partnership. If you are coming into a partnership and still saying that I want my own separate thing, just in case you start messing up, but when it's your money, it's our money, that's trash.
that
But
is
I think the biggest issue, like you said, is the fact that it wasn't communicated.
exactly the
That's
secret.
the only issue.
That's
the
my
only
biggest issue. Because yes, two becomes one, but at the same time, I still want you to be able to stand on your own 2 feet too.
And that's perfectly
But-
fine.
Because
Yeah.
some shit might happen.
But if you're not having conversations around that, then that's a big issue. Trust has not been established from the get-go. So I would want to know, well, what was your trauma? What was your mama's trauma? Like, what happened to them to say, you know,
Yep.
you don't have to get ready if you stay ready, you know, which
Yep.
is basically the logic,
That's
right?
basically what it is.
So I would want to know, like, okay, well, where is that coming from? Especially if you are saying and alluding to, without knowing all the details and nuances in their marriage and so forth, too. It sounds like you got a good one. So what's the need to hide secret money just in case either things go sideways or the perception that I know that some men will have is, oh, you're just planning on, you know, the day you don't need me, you can bounce.
Exactly.
When you see Tyrone down at Planet Fitness and he said it's time,
Right,
then you know,
right.
better call Tyrone.
Oh, my
Cash
I
out.
just, for me personally, I think the biggest thing that stood out to me that I learned myself is you cannot take other people's trauma from their marriage into your
Yeah.
marriage. And obviously that's what her mom taught her. That's what she knows. So I don't too much fault her for that because if you getting advice like your mom, it's your mama.
Yeah, it's your mom.
Your mom ain't gonna
Yeah.
steer you wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
there's
she
a
did
lot
in
of
this instance.
no, but you know what I'm saying. But that's your
I got what you're
mindset
saying.
towards advice that you're getting from your mama. And when
And
your
that-
mom
and
says
that-
keep
yeah.
some money on the side, she don't see nothing wrong with it.
And
But
that-
it's
yeah.
definitely something wrong with
Oh,
keeping
yeah.
secrets
Oh, the secret is
from your
that's the-
spouse.
that's
My
the
thing
biggest
that
one.
stood out to me too was him saying that her having money on the side is like a man having a side chick in case the
Oh,
marriage
I totally,
Nigga,
I
what?
forgot that you had read that. That's the problem.
I'm like,
So
that
you
don't
already,
even.
you already know that this relationship, and of course I'm
That don't
judging
even add
as
up.
an outsider.
It do?
You know,
How is that the
doesn't
same?
add
It do,
up.
but it don't.
That's like what
It
you
do.
were saying with
How
the
does
It
it-
secret.
how does
definitely,
it
it definitely add up. It definitely add up.
it do, but it don't.
I'm gonna tell you why it
To
add
have
up.
a chick on the side and
but
money
that's
on the
be-
side
but
is the same.
Because he
It's-
assuming that she got Tyrone. At
No.
Planet
I'm
Fitness waiting.
gonna tell. Listen, I'm gonna explain why it add
Sorry,
up.
Tyrone, but I'm
gonna
just
explain
saying.
why it add up.
Yeah.
In your marriage, all the dudes that you used to mess with, do you communicate with any of them? Back in the past, as far as like
not on
like,
an inappropriate level.
No.
But you still communicate.
That was like
You
a big,
still
that's a big
communicate.
question.
That's a good question. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, once you become married, the people that you were dealing with romantically, you cut them off because you're monogamous. You're in one relationship. What he's saying is, having that side bank account where you're keeping it secret just in case is just like keeping the chick kind of hanging around just in case your marriage don't work out. And if it don't work out, then you have an exit plan.
Well, that's what I was alluding to.
So
I
there's
guess.
Yeah.
here yes, but no. The reason why no is because once you feel like you have enough money in there, you don't have to worry about looking at it again. You don't have to put the effort and energy into that money again. When you got a side check, you kind of got to check in every so often. You got to make sure that she's still going to be there just
Like
in
you
case. You know what I'm
actually
saying?
doing, like, you know what I'm saying? You actually
Right.
communicating with somebody else.
Right.
Like, that's not the same as somebody having money on the side.
She's working
to me.
She has a whole business where the money is getting funneled into that she's keeping secret from her husband.
Right, but-
so there
but-
is some that's a continual act of checking on your money.
But what I'm
it's
saying
not
is,
the same as
but
having
what I'm
somebody
saying
on the
is-
side.
Right. What
I
I'm
think
saying is
it's a
like,
betrayal. It's a betrayal.
once you get to a certain point of
Definitely.
money to where you're like, you know what, this is enough for me to be good, right? That at that point you can cut off. This is my exit strategy. I made this amount.
Yeah.
It's in my account. I don't have to look at it. I'm done with this business. The money's there. I'm good. I'm fine. Right?
Yeah,
The side chick, You can't just cut. You can't just be like, stop putting the work. It's still going to be there.
Like you basically still dating somebody.
You still
Yeah,
dating
for
somebody.
No, I think you guys are looking at it like they're still dating. I'm saying there's plenty of relationships where the girl that you with or the girl that you was the side chick knows you're in a relationship and she's just on the side in like the wings. Come on, man.
It's not the same to me. It's both a betrayal, but it's not equivalent to
But
me
what I'm saying
personally.
is that
But
y'all ain't never been in a situation.
You can't
where
let your side chick go for 2 years.
I get what you're saying, but it's still not the same to
You
me.
can't like 6,
It's
7
just
months and
not.
shit. Might be the cutoff. You feel me?
It's just not.
It's
like,
secret. It's an exit plan. They on the side.
No, it's not the same. But we could agree to disagree. I just feel like, again, deeper conversation. Like, obviously, she's a stay-at-home mom. My question is, does she really want to be a stay-at-home mom? Does she feel comfortable being a stay-at-home mom? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of women don't feel comfortable not being financially independent.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with that at all. But again, it's something that should be discussed with your spouse. If your spouse wants you to be a stay-at-home mom, but you don't feel comfortable not feeling financially independent, you know,
Then take your ass to work.
I mean, obviously she's doing
started her
something to make
business.
money.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I'm
she
saying. But
making money.
there are men out there that want you to stay at home and take care of the kids, and that's it. But my thing is that a lot of women, like I said, don't feel comfortable with that, and that's something that you need to discuss. And maybe this might not be the person for you, or maybe y'all can find a compromise in
Or
there.
they don't feel fulfilled.
Yeah, some women are fulfilled just being a stay-at-home mom or whatever. But I feel like this is coming from a place of generational trauma being passed down. That's literally what it is. Your mama had a traumatic situation of maybe she was stuck in a relationship and didn't have no money
Especially back
for
in
an
those
exit
times,
exit
right?
plan, and now she's passing that trauma down to her daughter.
So now
Simple
I'm
as
stuck
that.
with this dude that's cheating every day, has multiple
Or
babies,
going upside my head.
wedlock and so forth too. So not only can I not leave because financially I can't, but also we got kids. If you know they believe in scripture, I'm staying because these vows mean something to me. So again, without knowing all the nuances about it, it's hard to say in terms of like, okay, I can kind of get why you have money on the side, but
It's a personal emergency
but the idea is like, why? What is the why?
Because
The why,
Because what's going to
exactly.
end up happening? Well, he obviously found out. The very thing you're trying to
But is he-
avoid.
yeah,
the
but-
very thing you're trying to avoid is the very thing that you're going to create.
So what I want to ask him is, okay, since she has his bank account on the side, are you gonna go get a side chick?
No, no, no,
Like,
no.
what's your answer?
I just think he was just using it as like it's
But
on
that's
the
it,
level
man.
on the
Yeah.
level of betrayal. I think that's what he was saying. My thing of it is the very thing that you were trying. I'm assuming trying to avoid, which is divorce, is the very thing you're going to bring about. Because the three reasons that people get divorced: communication, money, and sex. You already that's two. That's two out of the three. So now it undermines your trust. And trust is the basis of all relationships, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So you were trying to say, oh, I'm trying to make sure I'm good. And in doing so, now you're going to ruin your marriage. Because now, how can I trust you going forward?
Wow. I mean, one of them is a sin. The other one ain't. So I think that should change the weight of it.
What's not a sin in this situation? Lying isn't a sin.
The account. We already agreed that the lying part was the issue, right? We're talking about having the money, the side account. Don't give a damn about it being a liar or not. It's the fact that she still has an account. That part right there ain't a sin.
So then sign a prenup at the beginning where you both communicate and are both comfortable with that. If that's what you need to feel comfortable in a relationship or in a marriage, that's fine.
But tell the
you
person.
cannot be operating separately in a marriage. I think this generation does not understand if you want to subscribe to a monogamous relationship that is a marriage that you say vows and you say till death do you part. What are you up there saying that for if you're going in saying I need a separate bank account
Because
just in case?
we've seen so
Then
many
don't
people say
get
the same
married.
shit.
Then
but
don't get married.
But people want to get married regardless.
Well, then you.
But nobody.
But
Right,
this-
people fucking change.
No.
You're not going to predict that. Oh, I want to be in this relationship for the rest of my
Then don't
life.
say it.
But shit changes.
Then don't say it.
Then why the fuck you?
Then
Then
don't
why?
say it. Says to death do you part. Don't say it.
I feel like it's
You can't predict the
You
future.
Then
Why the
don't
fuck are you continuously
say
being?
it and don't get married?
then
But yeah,
that's
No. I wouldn't say don't get married. Find somebody who aligns with you. There are people out here that do financially are separate and they are married and they perfectly
and they were
fine.
but they communicate.
Exactly,
and
perfectly
communicate.
fine. So
And
it's
be
not one
flexible
way
in
to
your
do it.
mindset. Yeah.
I didn't say there was.
You said in a marriage you got to be one and everything. No, it don't.
That is being
you said.
one. When you're communicating about you having separate bank accounts, you're still communicating and understand what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't have a separate bank account. I'm saying you need to be on the same page.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
And it already, like I said, not knowing them, obviously, it already sounds like they got some issues to begin with, unfortunately. So hopefully they work through it, get some marriage counseling, hopefully from somebody that can understand both their perspectives, looks like them, acts like them, representation matters in mental health and therapy, and hopefully they can try to make it work because,
Come on.
Quit
Yeah.
and stop listening to your mama.
damn.
Right. Stop. Stop.
Yeah, because the secret is the problem.
Discernment.
We're all
We
in
are
agreement
agreed that
with
the secret is the problem.
That's a big, like if you already came in with your own bank account and stuff like that. I mean, I would assume if I'm dating a working person that they should hopefully have
A bank
their
account.
bank account. I would hope.
And there's a
You
number
never
of
know.
ways of doing that.
They might just use credit cards.
We have a joint account. We don't do no separate accounts because it's all one pot. Hold each other
And I
accountable.
respect that.
I do the same thing.
But I know there's some people that come in with issues about money and all this other stuff, or they want to put all the bills and everything in one pot and have their personal spending money.
Yeah.
They don't want to be overseen or be micromanaged. I get that too.
Yeah.
You got to do what works best for you. But
Amen on that.
I need to have communication on
Yes.
this is what makes me feel comfortable.
Yes.
And because I think if she would have came in with that saying, look, because what my mom went through and because some of the advice I feel uncomfortable if you are in control of all the money.
Yeah.
Which I think he even said, I think in the thing, didn't it say that she's in control of the money? I think she pays all the
It said I handle all the finances.
So she got hands on the money.
so because it could work the other way. I've seen situations where the woman leaves and wipes out the bank account.
So it's a level of trust.
Yeah, they can leave and wipe out the bank account, but they got to be savvy, right? Because you got a lot of men that just leave and then it's like, okay, you're gone.
And then too, you got to
Keeping
think like like you said, it goes both ways. Like where women don't have access to none of the money, and she just getting money to spend or whatever. So again, that's not the situation you in. So like I'm not discounting like her need to have her own money. I'm just saying that it didn't need to be secretive.
Yeah.
And communicate with your spouse. Have these conversations about people and their relationship with money.
And I totally agree with what you
And all
said
that.
too. Communication, sex, and money. Ooh, Lord. That can
on.
blow up.
You
that
in the
can
field.
blow up
You
a
in the
relationship.
field. You in the field. I'm gonna read some of the. Can I read some of the comments?
Let's hear it. Let's get
Oh
it.
Lord Jesus! Any man who is upset by this plans that if she ever leaves, he wants her destitute and struggling. Ooh, that's a woman.
Oh,
Nate over there laughing.
he laughing.
Oh, Lord,
Yeah,
Nate.
That's how funny it was. He laughing.
Nope, because nowadays no one stays together. People are too quick to split instead of working things out. So what happens to you if when he does leave, you think he is going to be worried about you? Nope.
Can you stand the rain?
Oh my Lord.
Johnny and
Jesus.
Ralph tried to tell you.
Oh my Lord. I don't think she's wrong. Maybe she's in an unhappy marriage. Didn't say that anywhere in there.
Okay.
I'd do the same if I was in an unhappy marriage. Then again, I never get married again. Okay, well, see where you coming from. So she spends his money and hides hers. You won't find me not working, spending my dude's hard-earned money and hiding my own. That's all I'm saying. Well, at least she.
Hold up,
Yeah, go ahead, man.
because it's not like she was starting her business and then start spending hella extra money. The money that was being spent throughout the time did not change. So nothing when it came to the house finances, nothing changed. Everything was still going the same exact way. It's not like she was taking money out of the actual group account and start putting into her account.
Business,
yeah.
Right. And so it was all already like, okay, it's completely separate. All the money that I'm making is going to my account. All the money that he's making is going to that account and it's still going to the way things are already going. The status quo ain't changed.
It does.
Ain't nothing.
It
What
does.
changed?
It does.
What changed?
I'm gonna lay it out for you. Okay. I'm gonna use an example here. Me and Candace both work. Okay. There was a time where she started doing makeup. She's making money on the side.
Okay.
Okay. The conversation was, at first it was that money would go towards investing, the 401ks,
IRAs and
college
all that. Yeah,
college account, whatever,
yeah.
because it was extra money that could advance us, right? I know what you're saying. You're saying that the budget is the same, no money moved, blah 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 blah. But the extra money that was coming in, if you are a team, that should be a conversation amongst the both of you, because there may be projects or things or investments that you may have wanted to do that you could not do because of the normal expenses that you have. So she moved his ability away to even have that conversation on. There may be some things that he may have wanted to do for her personally that he cannot do because it's all secret. She's worried about her leaving instead of building and adding to the household. That's a problem.
You're assuming that they're not where they want to be at.
There's always advancement in your household.
Sometimes people are comfortable where they're at.
Nah, bruh. I'm married, and it's always something else could be going towards, or something that could be better, or whatever. Ain't no where we at financially. We just gonna cool. Like you might be comfortable.
Let's assume.
But nah.
Let's not assume that they want more. Let's just assume they're good where they're at. Let's assume that being so he's handling the shit the way it is, and everything is fine.
Then why is she worried about leaving?
Because it doesn't have to be about finances when it comes to them leaving.
And why does she have a secret account?
She worried
because she might have her own shit.
Worried about him leaving, because he could leave too.
I don't.
And that's what Mama was saying. He might step out and find Pamela down at the 24-hour fitness, and it's game over. You know,
we got Tyrone and Pamela.
Planet Fitness, 24-hour fitness. Come on,
What's
man.
up with the gym?
I mean, where else you gonna meet somebody else you might step out on? You know, I don't know.
Jeremy, hope you have a gym membership.
Right.
I don't. Okay. If your girl ever see you say, "Hey, I'm gonna sign up for a gym membership," she
better be worried.
She gonna be going with you.
But the thing is, we both signing up, and that's the thing.
Sign up together.
That's what I'm saying. We going together.
Hey, you know what? Photo B, I got you. If that's what you want to do, that's fine.
Hey, you know.
If you want to give your wife emergency exit fund, that's cool.
Yeah.
I ain't doing that shit.
I didn't hear that from you, but that's what you said.
I said if. I didn't say if you want to. Candace ain't getting no damn if I leave or if I fuck up fund.
But if she earned it.
Earned what?
If she made that money for herself.
It is our money.
Everybody don't subscribe to our money.
Well, they don't get married.
The money that they make is the money that they worked for and made themselves.
Different people
I
have
might
different
put it
terms for their
towards our
marriage.
household, but that don't necessarily mean it's still my money. I get where people be coming from with that. I worked for this money. You did not. You know what I mean? But
I think that view is trash.
And like you said too, there are women out there.
It's trash if you guys are struggling.
Yeah, just in terms of like women I've met and being in the spaces I am. Sometimes, you know, it's already hard enough to feel like you're independent in this patriarchal society. So maybe this is what I need to feel independent in terms of if stuff hits the fan that I'm not up the creek. Again, you can debate all of the reasons for that and whatever. You know, the right or wrong partnership, all in together now, living better now, coochie sweater down, whatever. You know, but I mean, you got to have a conversation. And why were you hiding it? And that's a big issue I have. Yeah. Secrets will doom a marriage. It'll doom any relationship.
Oh Lord.
For the women that's listening, comment below and let us know what you think.
God,
do you
Lord.
feel like you need to have your own separate account to yourself?
And would you keep it? Yeah. And would you keep it secret though?
Would you keep it secret?
That's what I like to know.
Well,
and do you believe in joint finances?
Look, and we talking about secret accounts. We ain't talking about separate accounts. I don't think nobody has an issue with.
Yeah.
Well,
got that
some people do.
That Swiss bank account.
But
got that bank account.
I like
in
to see
Singapore.
that conversation.
to me, as long as you communicate, I don't see the issue.
Are we talking about secret accounts or are we going to be talking about separate accounts?
Well, she said secret.
Yeah.
That's what
said
the keeping it real was
separate,
for.
Yeah, that's
okay.
I would say the secret.
Do you think having a secret side account
Should
is
you
wrong?
have a secret stash just in case a nigga fuck up? Or just in case you want to go to the gym?
Yeah.
What Jeremy said.
With Tyrone, Planet Fitness.
Oh, my
Come on now.
Oh.
And the Tyrones out there are like, you know what? He right.
That's why these marriages be ending so damn much.
I mean,
All right.
hey, I can agree with you there.
Yeah, I hear you.
Secrets and lies.
Secrets will do
Want to
it.
share, want to share
That's
everything.
what it is.
Want to share everything but your damn money. All right. We're going to get on to the internet wins again. Internet wins again. Hopefully this shit work. Does it work this time? Damn it.
It's hella low.
It's just low.
It's hella low.
Oh my God.
There
There
we
we
go.
go. Internet wins again. No, it's not plugged up.
Oh, Lord.
All right, we gonna look. Hey, look. If you a producer or you got some beats, send us some damn beats so we can play some music.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we need some music added to the podcast.
Okay.
I agree.
So hit us up. Shoot us an email. Go to www.reverbexp.com. Get in contact with us. I would like to add some music there. So I don't got to keep on using the damn air horns. All right, internet wins again. Dave Chapelle was tackled on stage. I don't know where he was at. He was
in L.A.
L.A. At the comedy club.
Like Hollywood Bowl or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
Tackled by a man. Later on, found out that he had some type of gun or knife, some type of weapon.
He had a replica gun, but the knife was real.
Knife was real. Okay,
On the
I'm sorry.
gun.
Yeah.
And the security got him up pretty damn quick after that, stomped him out backstage. Dave Chapelle laughed about it. There's a damn like album covers and memes with the guy handcuffed to the gurney.
Yeah.
Blood, nose is bleeding, the eyes swollen, the whole nine.
Arm twisted and shit.
They said Jamie Foxx jumped up there. It was Jamie Foxx and somebody
Busta
else that jumped up there was
I believe.
bussing.
What?
Buster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they was fighting on his behalf.
Hey,
No, he got.
Jamie, Jamie's a real nigga. He be acting,
real
but
one.
Yeah.
Jamie's when it comes down, Jamie's a real nigga. They was backstage busting that nigga up too.
Man,
Damn.
they said Jamie and him. I was like, wait, who jumped on stage? I heard that.
Yeah.
So the question that we wanted to ask is because obviously we had a big episode with the Will Smith shit and all that other. Did Will Smith's standing up for Jada Pinkett and slapping Chris Rock, did he embolden all these other fans that go to these comedian shows to do what exactly happened to Dave Chappelle? Because didn't somebody do that to, who was it else? It was somebody else that happened to too. Was it T.I.? No, it wasn't T.I.
Yeah, T.I.
Somebody ran, yeah.
It's happened before, and it's not the first time. But I can't sit up here and say no fully because we say that like we was talking off air of how Donald Trump emboldened them folks to go up to the you can, you know what I'm saying? Your actions can, but I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. No, but I'm saying like your actions can embolden people
To do that.
to then turn around and do the same thing.
Okay.
It can.
So you're on the fence.
I'm on the fence though because I'm like, people been doing this, and
Yeah.
to put it all on Will Smith, I don't know.
I understand.
No, it's definitely not 100%. I'm not even going to say partly. No,
Okay.
not at all, because it takes, regardless of what you've seen or what you've experienced with somebody do, it takes some audacity to walk up on stage and do something to somebody, right? A lot of people aren't going to do that shit. You know what I mean? And they've done it beforehand.
Yeah.
So if they gonna make the decision, that's on them. It's like, oh, Will did it. Will's different.
Yeah.
Will's different.
Yeah.
So don't think that you can don't think people are just going to just go up there because, I'm following Will Smith's footsteps. When it comes to Trump was saying, pretty much telling people to do that shit.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it himself. So it wasn't even an action. It was actually by a world leader telling people to do some shit.
Insight. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me add. I'm reading online, and it says that Dave Chappelle talked to him backstage and asked him why he did it, and he said that his grandmother had been forced out of her Brooklyn neighborhood because of gentrification, and this was supposed to shed light on her situation. I don't know how true that is, but it also says that one of his siblings said that he struggles with mental illness as well. So
I'm assuming that's tied to the community that Dave Chappelle was involved in, then, right? Not his grandmother.
The work.
Like,
Oh, you're talking about the living community.
Yeah.
That whole shit. Oh, the
where he stood up at the city hall.
no,
Like
I
the-
wasn't there.
Was it?
No. I'm
so.
saying that there was an issue with Dave Chappelle where people were saying that he was
For some
for
type of
gentrification.
yeah, something
okay,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying that in the Brooklyn community he was involved in that. I think it was
Somewhere else, I can't remember.
Connecticut or
Where he from?
Yeah, wherever he's from.
Somewhere out the fucking way.
So it was a knife that looks like a handgun.
Yeah, like a bayonet or whatever they
Yeah.
call things.
Yeah, it was a knife added to the gun. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
there it is, yeah.
Okay.
That's
So we got a
crazy.
little bit more information. Obviously, so we got the mental health side of it. He was trying to bring awareness to an issue, but I don't know how you would bring awareness by having a knife. Yeah, I
And
don't know.
attacking Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle. But obviously, if there's,
Mental health. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about, mental health earlier, man. So we know the decision making isn't going to be clear and and make sense.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad that Dave was safe. Glad nothing more, serious of terms of harm happened, because that could have been a real dangerous, scary situation.
Yeah.
And as we see too, people are kind of, if we go back to the Will and Chris Rock situation, the people that are rocking with Chris and saying, oh, he has the right to say this and say that, or of a particular political leaning, particular belief system and ideology, that are really using this to put us against each other as well, and so forth too. Because again, it's like, oh, it's all good to say what you want to say when it doesn't impact me and offend me. It's all freedom of speech then, right? And so forth too. So again, I feel, bad for the young man. It sounds like he's going through it and so forth too. We're not making excuses for coming with a knife and possibly harming somebody, in that kind of fashion. But I mean, it's just, a whole lot of things that we think about in terms of bigger systems, in terms of, the rent is too damn high.
Right, gas too damn high.
Gas, mental health, people not being able to have access to those services.
Yeah.
Both in terms of red tape, in terms of finances, and in terms of a lot of, mental health professionals. They're leaving the profession. There are already not that many black mental health professionals to begin with.
Yeah.
But the ones that we got, they're getting burnt out. They're getting twisted. They're hearing this and that in terms of negativity. They're deucing out too. So there's a lot of factors involved in that situation. It's good that you shared that piece about the mental health and the reasoning, because automatically the mainstream media, which is not, mainstream CNN. No, Fox News is mainstream too. The mainstream media, in terms of particular, backgrounds and opinions, are already trying to use, see what happened when Will Smith did this? Oh, yeah, Will Smith is, the reason that all of this happened. Even though we're not acknowledging the fact that we live in a very violent society.
Come on. That's what I said. Somebody said Will Smith opened the door for violence.
I mean, that's just...
In America?
I mean, come on.
Violence was the door.
Welcome to the United States.
What?
People ready to fight.
It's founded on violence, so I don't want to hear he opened the door for violence. What?
Says white people that have a long history of violence.
Come on now. That's why I was like, I'm on the fence, because y'all doing too much.
Open the door to violence.
I mean, that's what's wild.
No.
Last 2 years, we've seen people ready, over, just concepts in terms of ideologies and critical race theory and stuff
you
like
said
that.
The past 2 years?
I mean,
when did Trump get elected?
I mean, longer than that, but these last 2 years.
I what you're saying. Yeah,
it's been amplified to the even. I mean, people storming the Capitol, people storming Michigan talking about wanting to kidnap people, and the gun violence is off the chain too. It's always been off the chain, like we're alluding to, right? But even more recently, we're seeing like, wow, things are really going haywire and so forth, right?
Yeah.
So again, they try to ascribe it just in terms of like, oh, this is a black problem, black issue. But no, this is a United States of America issue. And what are we doing to try to, help people to kind of find the calm and the peace that they need to function in this society? You don't have people having access to mental health. You're not allowing people to be their authentic selves. You're hiding history and so forth from the people.
They don't make enough money.
They don't make enough money and stuff like that too. What do you think is going to happen? And then you keep on feeding all this one-sided bias in terms of it's these people that are holding you down and taking advantage of this and that. When in reality, it's like, well, it's the people, the gatekeepers don't look like me. And that's for real. So I don't know, man. People have been bum rushing stages since the beginning of time. Man, I saw a video a couple months ago, professional wrestler Seth Rollins. He had somebody try to bum rush him. That's professional wrestling. You know what I'm saying? But nobody talked about that because it wasn't somebody who was as popular as a Dave Chapelle or as popular as a Will Smith, Chris Rock, and so forth too. So if they can use a narrative to kind of, justify, oh, these folks are angry and upset. Liberals are all angry and upset. Black folks are all angry and upset. They shall use it.
They're going to use it.
Instead of looking at the bigger, deeper issues like, okay, homie needs some mental health.
He needs some help.
Mental health help.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad. And then also, like they're saying, what's with the security over there?
Man, that's how I was really going to ask. Like, what do you think is about to start happening with these comedy shows?
That's not like a little play knife. That's like a Commando Rambo knife right there.
Yeah. After that, I don't know. How did he get in with it? The other thing is, after the whole Chris Rock thing, you would have beefed up security already.
Oh man, especially
now.
LA.
I was reading an article where he said, "Oh, well, going forward, they're going to beef security." Nigga,
come on.
Well, so you wouldn't think that somebody who paid to go see somebody is going to attack somebody?
Nah.
You would think that somebody, at this point with Dave Chapelle, you should assume that everybody, what to expect.
Well, as many people as he's pissed off,
I know.
As Dave Chappelle, that would be the first question: is nigga, what's up with your security?
Yeah.
So, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah. I think I agree with you guys. I don't think Will Smith incited it. you can say that maybe he inspired or planted a seed or whatever for people to quote unquote check people that they don't agree with what's being said. But nigga, like you paid to sit and watch. You did not pay to be able to go up there and exert and say nothing or try to make a statement or whatever. Well, obviously, there's some mental health thing. I don't like the fact that whenever there's a white person that does that the mental health gets put out there very first. But when somebody black does it, it's the mental health comes at like a week or something later. Yeah. So I think what we saw, and I didn't comment on it last time, but I will comment on it now. Will Smith is a classic buck breaking incident where if one black person gets out of line, then you punish him, you blame him for everything. You say, oh, he's the reason, he's the door to violence, whatever. Yeah. So that way when other black people see that if you doing this to Will Smith, then that means you gonna be doing something worse to me. So I'm gonna get in line. Yeah. And that's that comment that we were talking about earlier, that we can't look at other people for that they're the standard for how we supposed to act. Yeah. Yes. Like exactly. We look at like, oh damn, like Will Smith is the pinnacle. So, oh, well, if he did it, then it's okay. That's how some of the black people are saying it. But then the white people are thinking like, oh, like Amy, whatever her name was. Schumer. So I'm like, oh, I'm traumatized. It's freaking Will Smith that don't even cuss in his raps. Yeah. You know what I mean? And now all of a sudden, that whole 20-year history of him being super clean, now is all like out the window. Now he's traumatized, or now she's traumatized because she saw him slap Chris Rock. Like, and I don't want to diminish Chris Rock. Like, she said she was traumatized before people even checked on Chris Rock.
Yeah. Right. Like, girl, how you feel really don't matter. How do Chris feel? Right.
And then he came out and said, I got slapped by the softest rapper in history. So, I mean, he's joking about it because he's a comedian. But I'm just saying, it was just so, we need to stop with the respectability politics. No matter who you are as a black person, they will use you as an example to keep everybody else in line.
Yeah. So, one mistake. Exactly. Erased all of that goodwill. Yeah. And that's the story of
goodwill.
Yeah. Hey, man, you know.
Fuck your life. I thought I was the only one that peeped that.
I didn't even try, but it worked.
No, he be catching all those little double entendres.
So, yeah, it's just sad.
I'm about to put that in a rap. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Yeah, man. Will, don't we? So what? We gonna blame Will Smith for everybody that runs up on stage now?
Come on now, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, people been running up stages forever, running on fields, football fields.
But why not Kanye?
Kanye got security.
Yeah.
Oh, Kanye got a vest on.
Yeah. No. I mean, I'm talking about like going up stage.
Because he got security.
No, because he went up on stage. I'm talking about with the whole Taylor Swift shit.
Oh, I got you. Well, because he wasn't violent.
But he did get,
He had a rant, but it wasn't. He didn't touch her.
He didn't. But they still tore him apart though.
If he would have touched Taylor Swift, it would have been. Oh my God.
Bird.
Well,
he could have just went in with like that.
You see how they acted, and he didn't.
No, they tore.
I mean, they dragged that very far.
Yeah,
they really did drag that.
That's true.
So just imagine
he got torn apart. We forget how like visceral the reaction. Even Obama was saying that.
He's an asshole. He was like, Kanye's an asshole.
Yeah, it was like.
See, wow. but he went up there to protect Beyonce. So he gained points with the black people because what he said was true. That Beyonce should have won. So he was kind of protecting. I mean, if you want to say black women in that instance, then because at that time he was a conscious backpacker, black empowerment guy.
Yeah.
So.
He was on the downhill turn
because and then that was after the George Bush comment. So
a little bit after that was after his mama had passed. So you had Graduation, you had 808s and Heartbreaks.
Yeah.
And after those albums is when that Taylor Swift situation happened.
Right.
You know what?
All your single ladies come out.
What I'm saying is though that up until that point we had looked at him as the voice of black speaking for the black culture.
No, I get you.
Yeah.
That's very interesting because he was doing certain shit for us and black women and shit. And then when it started turning around on the internet to where it was almost as if like we were not looking at his actions for the way they were, I can understand him turning on a different route. Because it's like, damn, like I'm doing all this shit. I worked my ass off to get here. I see certain things that I feel like I can actually, put a hand on and change some shit. And y'all are dogging me out for doing it.
Yeah.
Why am I gonna keep on doing this shit?
But we dogged him because of what he was saying.
Mm,
Like, we didn't really have an issue with Kanye until the slavery is a choice comment.
right.
And then he just kept on talking. Like, to the point where he said, not recently, but maybe 4 or 5 months ago, he said, like, that he never really fucked with the conscious community. And he was only doing it just to get in.
I did see
the
that.
door. So it's like,
sorry to live Kweli, but
yeah. So it's like, so how you introduced yourself to us was a facade, and we rock with you because you were for the culture on the conscious tip, and then now you're basically telling us that was all a play just to get you to where you at because you couldn't go gangster route. You were on Rockefeller, so you couldn't, like, that wasn't your lane. So you went backpack route to get to where you at now. And now you're turning your back on the very community that got you to where you at. Because the Talib Kwalis, the Most Defs, the High Techs, they put them on.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So
Black Star got a new album out too, if anybody's wondering. Just a FYI.
Oh, damn it. Damn it. We didn't talk about LMA.
Oh, the new music.
Oh, we forgot about
I thought we
LMA.
skipped it. I thought we was just going to just not do
No,
it.
we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it.
You love
just
some
very,
R&B.
very quick. I love R&B.
Yeah.
And we always want to highlight black artists and black women especially. So just really, really quick. Do we listen?
I didn't listen to the whole thing, but it was a few that stood out to me.
No.
I gotta look at it. Hold
Okay.
on.
I like that Dangerous song, man. That's
Yeah,
a
we was
vibe.
listening to that one.
Yeah. Oof.
Dangerous, the DMFU.
That one.
Hold
on.
on. Let me go through the track list.
Right.
Let me go through the track list. It's funny. I was gonna ask you to look through the track list and see which one you thought was my favorite. You already know I'll be. you already
Feels
know.
like. I liked Feels Like.
Yeah.
That one hit.
I want to say this, and just because we're running out of time, and I don't want to hold you guys too long. I wanted to go with in a deep dive on her album. We're not going to be able to do that. So I like albums that you can tell with whoever team that she worked with. Same thing with, actually, there's like a few albums this year that I said the same thing, but for hers especially, that it is sequenced in a good way.
It's purposeful.
As far as
Yeah.
as far as sonically,
Yeah.
and as far as even so Hard on My Sleeve, right? So, I was like, man, like this is gonna be kind of a depressive album, but you get a whole range of emotion from her, right? So you get the Trying, right? You get the which is the single that she got out right now, but you do get the love songs where she's talking about love in a romantic way, which that's what you were saying. I miss that R&B where it's like I can sit in and just love on my woman and listen to the song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we get a lot of the Summer Walker emo, which that's her. So I'm not gonna.
It's the sad girl
But there needs
R&B.
to be a balance, and I think that's why the Hour song went up so much because everybody was like, okay, like
It's an actual love song. It's
yeah.
not like basically a lot of these R&B songs have turned into like you said, sad girl,
emo
like
R&B.
emo R&B, but it's like it's basically like a slow song.
It's niggas ain't
complaining
shit.
about
It's a-
niggas ain't shit, but slow drag beat. Like,
It's a R&B. This album.
there you go,
to
an
niggas.
R&B diss record now. Like that's
what
literally
it
what
is.
we've been getting. And I'm like, I mean, that's cool. And I know I see a lot of women that be like, "Oh, I'm so ready," because they've been going through what they going through. So a lot of people like identify with that because the dating game has become so trash.
But we need some love songs.
But like,
too.
what happened to being in love?
I
And
know.
step in and all,
no,
so
I mean, come on now.
I
That's
like
what
it.
R&B was.
I like
know.
it. So she started off with Trying. She got the Not Another Love Song. Then she hit you with the Lotto feature. So she started off strong. On the album, you got to start off strong, especially because time retention and
You already know.
time attention. Like people don't like
Don't
they be
get you
they be
right
like
there.
skimming, right? So you got to get on the first, and then I think she picked it up in the middle of the album. So she got Pieces, the DMFU, the High, Power of a Woman, Feels Like, Leave You Alone, and then she ended it well. Front to back, didn't skip a track. Sonically, it fit LMA.
Oh, yeah.
It was all a vibe. It was all kind of that dreamy, but it was still, some of it was upbeat. So it was dope. Probably one of the better R&B albums that I've heard in a while. I love the Summer Walker, but as far as like a genuine R&B that had a range of emotions, it was dope.
yeah.
It was dope, and it fit the title perfectly.
Yeah.
Hard on My Sleeve.
Yeah.
So
It's
check
good.
it out.
It's a good album, man. It's good, tracks on there too. So, I mean, we'll see, man. It's, I think next week Kendrick's supposed to drop too, if I remember
Oh,
correctly.
for real?
Yep.
I'm not a Kendrick fan,
Morale
but-
and the Steppers
Future
or something.
dropped. I
Future
didn't.
dropped,
I
yeah.
didn't even take a chance on listening to it.
No Future Hendrix
No,
for you?
no.
I'm definitely not a fan of Future. Like, y'all know how much I love Drake, right? The
Oh.
only Drake album I don't like is the one with Future.
So Future.
Literally, that's the only one I never listen to. I'm just keeping it real. I really don't like Future.
Yeah, it's just too much
Don't look at
toxicity
me
for
like
me.
that.
Future is very, and apparently, if I remember correct, either GQ or Vanity Fair came out with an article talking
Said
about
that he's the best rapper.
You got it.
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
what?
what? Like, but see, that's how you know. Like you were talking about the gatekeepers in terms of the business and so forth. These are the ones telling you who you should be following.
But why? And why?
And
Exactly.
why, bro?
Exactly. Since the beginning of time.
Why is Future being pushed?
I know. How you feel about Future,
Toxic
man?
masculinity.
All right, we all in agreement. We finally came to an agreement. Yeah, I'm
'Cause
not a fan of Future.
I think,
I don't feel him. I'm like, okay,
to me, Ty Dolla $ign is way more talented than Future.
I enjoy Ty Dolla $ign's music more than Future.
But for some reason, Future gets the push.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
it's a lot of toxic shit.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
And it's usually for the niggas. It's funny that the same niggas that subscribe to Kevin Samuels be listening to damn Future.
It's like a trend when you kind of really look at the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of making kind of some sense.
The soundtrack to misogyny.
Yeah, Future. Sensational.
Somebody brought up a good point though, and then we're gonna end this.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it
Why would you?
because it's going to start a bigger conversation, and we'll do it on the live.
Oh, okay.
Because I
Y'all
don't want
tune into the
I don't
live.
want to. Yeah, I don't want to waste too much time because we're already at 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Gotcha.
So I don't want it to be a longer conversation. So
I hear you.
yeah, so tune into the live. We're gonna talk about the Kevin Samuels, the whole shit. What I was gonna say on the pod, but I didn't say on the pod. So I'm saying
We doing the hip hop affirmations.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Hip hop affirmation.
I got one for the ladies. I got one for the ladies since it's the
Since it's
Mother's Day episode. This is from, you already know, Deacon Drake.
Deacon Drake.
Drake.
Deacon Drake.
Good Lord.
I know things get hard, but girl, you got it. Girl, you got it. There you go. Can't tell by how they looking at you everywhere you go. Wondering what's on your mind. It must be hard to be that fine when all these motherfuckers want to waste your time.
Not her saying it like it's fucking.
I know.
It's just amazing, girl. All I could say is I'm so proud of you.
I was wondering what song that was.
That's my song.
That song is dope.
That's off Take Care, right? That song?
Proud
Oh,
of
what
you.
album is that?
Make me
I'm
proud.
so
No, that was on the.
That's
No,
on
there was.
Yeah, it was.
It
Yeah.
was.
And that was his best album.
That's what people say.
we
But
agree?
you could debate about that too. I feel like Dutton was the same was his best.
Come on.
Oh no.
I like you.
You know what?
I knew
You know
I
what?
liked
No.
you.
You're right. I agree with you.
Come on.
I agree with you because that was
That's
that
my
was the
album.
blue background with
Yes.
the fro.
And when you talk
Yeah.
about top to down, like
That was a better
it
album.
was sequenced. You could tell there was a
Come on.
That was a
purposeful-
better album.
That's
I
the one
agree.
for me.
I
Take
But
Care is
people
a close
But
second.
people be beefing about that online.
They do.
No.
Take
I
Care.
agree.
But I mean, how you gonna have Mother's Day and not talk about Dear Mama?
Oh, you right.
You know. So I'm just
But-
saying.
but this was-
101.1 is gonna be playing Dear Mama on rotation tomorrow.
But this was hip
Shout out to
hop
101.1.
affirmation. So
Nah,
we get an affirmation.
I get you.
And then before we leave, the first lady of Death Row Records did pass away, Jewel Capel. So we
Jules,
wanted to
Oh.
rest in peace. Rest in peace. So all right, y'all. We out. We'll holler at y'all later.
Much love, y'all.
Let's go.